No.
What's going on, Blake?
How
I'm
you
very
doing?
good. How are you?
I'm fine, great.
MJ, how are you doing, man?
Hey, Richard. Nothing important. How you doing?
Can't hear you. Are you alive? You hanging in there?
Yeah. Yes, I'm on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so just dropping off work here. How you doing?
Good. Are you whispering because of something at work?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, that's right.
Okay, no worries. Hey, so what's going on, man?
Yo, I just got back from New York City. I didn't tell you, but I went for like a trip there, but I can't connect to my Wi-Fi right now. I don't know why.
Using like your phone network right now?
Yeah, well, I'm using my phone right now, but
Yeah.
ever since I got home, my internet doesn't work. I don't understand why. I'm gone for like 5 minutes. Everything breaks. Trying to connect right now. Can't connect to this network. Why? It's fine too, because I just upgraded my phone so that now I have unlimited data on my phone. So I'm like, yes.
Who are you with? Are you T-Mobile or
No, I have Verizon. So
Verizon?
like for the longest time, I like stayed on their 5G plan,
Mhm.
just trying to essentially like, you know, not try to spend as much as I can on my phone bill. And then I was just like, all right, fine. Like I kept going over the 5 gigabytes and I had to pay like an additional $15. And I was like, okay, fine. Like let me explore the other option. Like, yeah, for $4 more, we can give you unlimited data. And I was like, oh my God, are you serious? $5 more. I've been like trying to, you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
Yeah, for like the longest time.
I feel that. Yeah, I feel I use a lot of my phone data too. It's like my internet just at my home craps out all the time. I'm surprised that we even make it through these Zoom calls, honestly. Um, I'm always like switching to my phone's Wi-Fi. But Adam, how's it going, man? How you doing?
What did you say, Kashik?
Just asking how you're doing.
We're good. We're
Good.
good. Currently at my grandma's house and spending some time with her this weekend. About to run downstairs and grab some dinner and bring it up here.
Cool.
But yeah, we're good. Yeah, we'll go over it when it's time.
Sounds good. Cool.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Um, Daniel, welcome back, man. Hope
Thank,
your hope your
thank you.
vacation, your trip went well.
Oh man, it was hectic but fun.
Good.
Drove about 1,000 miles each way with a 1 year old, so that was challenging.
Jeez. Oh my God.
Um, yeah, we left at night, so it'd be better. We thought it'd be better for her, so she's like sleeping, and which was the best move, but just kind of like meant like on both ends of it, I was dead the next day.
Yeah, I bet. Like how many hours of that is that driving?
I think we made it up there in 16 hours, and we made it back
Oh,
in 14.
jeez. Holy cow. Did you
Yeah.
take any breaks or was like a straight shoot?
I mean, yeah, the way up there, we took a few breaks. We'll stretch our legs during the day, and then we switched drivers. I was my wife's dad went with us, so we were able to switch back and forth. But
Good, good. Yeah, I made a few of those road trips as well, so I know.
Yeah, it was brutal the way up there. The way back was like 2 hours shorter, so it was nice.
Yeah, yeah. Cool. Um, cool. So I think most of us are in here. We might missing like one or two guys. I think it'll be a little bit of a smaller group today. But we can go get started. Wish there were a few more people here. Actually, let's do this actually. Because Blake, when we do these introductions, I like for as many people as possible to be here, so you can kind of introduce yourself once, and everybody kind of gets to know you. So I think what we'll do is, Daniel, we can just start with you, and then we can do introductions with Blake. We can just do it that way.
Okay.
So, um,
What did I have here?
yeah, so cool. What's I'll kind of just let you take the stage in terms of what you wanted to go over, what questions you wanted to ask me. I do have thoughts, and I'm kind of glad some of these things have happened, but like you go ahead and take the stage and ask away or chat away.
Okay, so yeah, I'd say I had my organic interview with a Pilates studio owner. I thought it went well. She enlightened me in certain aspects. If I were to run ads right now, I think I have like a opening line, and as far as like bullet points of like the selling points to mention in an ad. And then she needs I'll shoot her video sometime in July. It's working out because I'm actually having my second daughter's due in like 2.5 weeks. So she's not available till July, so that works out for me. So sometime in July she'll reach out to me when she wants me to film for her.
Okay.
I thought that was good. And then my clients' ads, they're starting to dwindle a little bit just because, I mean, I can can I show you?
Yeah, you should be able to share your screen.
All right, let me bring it over here. Where'd it go? Okay. So this is the one I shut off that had all the zip codes. And then I duplicated it and just titled it locals because it was just a radius. So out of these, I turned off the video females because it had a high number out of the gate. And it was kind of weird, like one of those things where it's like I was getting better numbers of the other campaign with this ad. But the photos are doing well. We're looking at $4 a lead, but it's the guys that's killing it. It's not in a good way.
Right.
Yeah, so they're just like trickling in. So I'm wondering if I should just like boost, like put more ad spend in this side, or maybe if I go to campaigns here, like do.
I guess like what's the deal in terms of like, so the $8,000 that she's paid you, I guess like how much of that like are like what's the game plan? You're gonna spend $2,000, you have to spend $1,500. Like I guess like what are you trying to do in terms of the budget? Like that's
Well, I guess the thought was $1,000 for ad spend monthly, but obviously, I mean, whatever. I know it's gonna be more than that. So I mean, honestly, I don't know. I don't know as far as what
what are you trying to accomplish? I guess how about that? What are you trying to accomplish?
to break even.
To break even in terms of what? What do you mean?
The eight to get her on ROI to get her to her $8,000 back.
So your goal is like, so out of the $8,000 that she gave you, your goal is to get her $8,000 back. And out of that $8,000 that she gave you, how much of that are you willing to spend to get her that break even?
That's what I'm saying. Is like, well, how much am I willing? I guess like, I mean, I'm prepared to like not make any money on this client. So if it was like, I don't think it'll take all $8,000 obviously in ad spend, but I'm mentally preparing myself for the worst. which is to refund. But she like you know the history with her and me and her going back and forth. But yeah, it's just like now I'm like, okay, what do I do?
So you're trying to make her an ROI. What is the time frame? Like, hey, look, I'm trying to get her, make her $1,000 month one, 2,000 month two. Like, what's, I guess, like, what's that looking like?
Um, I guess the answer is I don't know.
Ballpark. Just give me something that, because when you ask that question, like, should I increase the budget? Should I put it here? All that depends on what your goals are. That's why I'm asking these questions.
Well, I guess the plan was to get her the $8,000 within like 3 months.
So 8 grand divided by 3 months, which is like 2.6 grand a month. What is the average client spending? Like, what is your offer again? Your offer is like 3 classes for $15, or what is it?
It's the one class for 15 or 3 for 70. And so far I've gotten uh four clients now that got the 70.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's go, Daniel. What the fuck? Let's go. Good stuff.
Yeah.
You went from 1 to like 3, and then you got another one. What's going on? What's being the pivot? What's being the changer?
Honestly, it's just the hustle, man. I can show you like my notes here as far as it's just like staying on top of these. It's like, where is it? Sorry. Where'd you go? There we go. So it's just like, here's the pipeline. It's just like they opt in. There's an initial outreach, and then follow up 1, 2, 3 from there. And then if in these 3 follow-ups, I talk to them and I say, yeah, maybe, or like call me back next week, maybe, or whatever. I put them in hot leads, and I have notes for all of them. Like this lady here, for example, she wanted her and her daughter to join, or her to join with her to attend with her daughter. And so anyway,
so what's your cost per acquisition then? How much are you spending for every so you got 4 people? How much have you spent divided by 4 is what I'm trying to figure out.
So is that like the lead price? I haven't inputted anything honestly in the spreadsheet yet.
The total amount that you spent on the campaign so far.
Yeah, how much have you
Okay.
spent divided by 4 is what I'm looking for.
Okay, let's see. $356.
So 356 divided by 4 people. I mean, technically 3 people, because one person is bringing 2 people in. So let's just go and do 356 divided 356.
About 120,
So
150.
120 to spend to bring somebody in for $40. So you're basically liquidating 50% of your ad spend. Not terrible, assuming you have back end offers, assuming she knows how to sell, assuming somebody knows how to sell. So does that make sense? First of all, Daniel, what you're doing, like you're spending $100, you're making $50.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's completely normal. If again, you have the high ticket price on the back end, you know how to sell that thing. Make sense? What's actually average, so just so everybody else knows, when you do these low ticket offers, I don't know about every industry, but I definitely know within the coaching, consulting, online course space, our goal is to get about 30%. So if we spend $100, we want to get about $30 on the funnel, and then $70 we want to make it up, break even, and then the rest is profit. So Daniel, you're kind of within that range. You're doing about 50% instead of 30%. So it's actually a little bit better than average. So what does her back end stuff like sell for? Like, does she have any back end stuff? Like, what is that back? Like, does she have a package or anything like that? That's like $1,000, $15, 1,500, 2,000.
This is her pricing. So, this is what I'm upselling from the $15 offer.
Yeah.
And then here's a membership, A classes for $179, monthly unlimited $250. I don't think anyone will do single class, but 5 classes $139, 10 $249, and so on and so forth.
Okay.
And then she has private sessions, which one of my leads opted for a private session.
Oh, nice. Cool. That's really cool, actually. Do you think that she'd be willing to like change her pricing or anything at all? Like if you could
But,
sell something for like 2 grand, would she let you sell it for 2 grand?
um, that's a big number, so maybe. But all I can say is that whatever I've like, I don't know, suggested, she's just like shat on it, like and fought me every step of the way. So I
Is
would
that
also my go-to answer is no, but if someone's giving her $2,000, I think, I mean, maybe that'll make her talk. But what would be the sell?
yeah. What is how what's she kind of so first of all, like in terms of like how much you should spend and all that, I'm not good with math off the top of my head, so I need to like write this down and like figure that out, and then I'll send you information. If you can message inside of our Slack just to remind like, hey, can you shoot me over like how much I should be spending and what numbers I should be looking for. This way I'll send that over to you later this evening, if not tomorrow.
Okay.
But this gives me a lot of data. I know it's about $100 to get somebody in, so now I just have to do the math, and I'm gonna go under the assumption that like 10% to 20%, 10% of people are gonna buy the high end thing, and I'm gonna just like kind of like crunch the numbers and send that over your way. And by the way, that's pretty normal, just for you to know, Daniel, as well as everybody else. There's something like 20% of your customers have 80% of the purchasing power of the rest of the group. And so then in my experience, that's been true as well. Like if you have 10 people that purchase your medium ticket, low ticket thing, you're gonna have one person that's gonna purchase your high end thing. That's usually what it works out as. So I'll kind of send that over your way, Daniel, to help you kind of like have a ballpark of like how many sales you have to make to hit 2.6K. By the way, to hit 2.6K with what you're doing right now, you're gonna have to spend 5K, right? Make sense?
Yeah.
And that's obviously you don't want to do that.
Okay.
So, if we can somehow spend like $1,000 to make her 2.6K, that would be awesome. Okay. Anyways, going back to your question in terms of ads.
So my thought was, should I do like the lookalike audience for this? Because this one here did well. 17 leads at $7 a lead. And the other one, the other campaign, I just turned it off because it was so bad. The video here.
Do you know which ad set did the sales come from? I would assume they came from the females 30 plus 16 miles radius photo.
Um, well, yeah, up until the 29th, whenever I did this. So yeah, I started this on the 20th and then ended it and started this on the 29th.
So my question is, where did the purchase come from? Which ad set? So you're doing campaigns instead of ad sets?
I got AdSense here.
So you should be, by the way, just so click on the campaigns tab. Yeah, so you should have one campaign, and then you should be doing all the stuff within ad sets. You should have only one campaign, and should have ad sets within the campaign. Just to
My
give you,
bad.
that's all good. So the sales, which campaign did they come from? The 20th or the 29th?
I think this one, the 29th,
And then is it from the photos or the videos that they came from?
all photos, because I didn't get any leads for the video.
So what I would suggest doing is let me get back to you and let you know how much I think your ad spend should be to hit your goal of 2.6K per month for her. Aside from that, I literally wouldn't do anything else. Like I wouldn't touch
Okay.
it. There's no reason to touch anything. Everything is working just fine. All you need to be working on is literally what you're doing right now. Like if this continues to work, Daniel, if this continues to work, then all you need to literally focus on, bro, is like figure out how to send these people. That's it. You've already figured out to some degree how to get people to buy. You've got 4 people that you've sold. That means what you're doing is working. You're gonna refine, you're gonna get better. And then the secret thing that you need to figure out is like the high end thing. Once you crack that, you're chilling, dude. There's nothing else. And then with ad spend, you really don't need to. You just swap out creatives as time progresses. Don't need to do much with that.
Okay.
It's really that simple.
Got it.
Questions, comments, concerns?
No, yeah, I'll just wait for you to get back to me on the numbers, but that's it.
Okay. You got some other stuff you brought up on the Slack.
Yeah, this just kind of happened organically. Like I had my AC get service and they needed fixing, so the guy came out and fixed. We started chumming it up. He was a fellow Air Force veteran like me, and we got talking on that. And then when he was here, he said he had just put in his 2 week notice for the company. He was going to start his own business, and so it's been 2 weeks now. And my parents they needed fixing for their AC, so I gave him my parents' information to go help them out. And then he said, "Hey, I haven't forgot like your you know what you do for ads. Like I'm going to be talking to you pretty soon." So we started texting back and forth, and he's telling me that I'm putting up the text here, but how much he was spending. I texted him on Friday, and he went live. He said the Wednesday before, so that's like 10 days, and he spent $3,600 on leads. And so like I was saying, like, how much are you paying for leads? He says it's usually like 120 each, but he can pay as much as low as 89, as high as 155, like depending on what county and what service.
These are
So
Google
it's
ads?
like,
Are these
I'm
Google
sorry.
ads? Google ads?
It's like some kind of like he buys into like this network, I guess, that just kind of gives him leads, and then he has it set at I'm willing to pay this much, and they just kind of give him leads from there.
Okay.
So, and my wheels got spinning with when Drew came on and like talking about leads and all that. So I was like, well, the way I told it with him was like, let me do some research. I'll get back to you. And then he said, yeah, looking forward to it. So I was like, I don't know, this is kind of probably more lucrative and easier. I mean, way easier, I would think, as far as AC out here, especially Southern California in June, July. I mean, it's a necessity. So
what's
and there's
brewing plan of action? Or I'm sorry, go ahead. Whatever else you were going to say, I'd love to hear what else you were going to say.
well, I was just thinking like doing the whole like website thing, right? Getting ranked and then giving him the leads that I get. Whatever Drew is doing, and then giving him the leads that I get, and that's it. Like charging like a weekly premium, I guess. I don't know.
So a few things. So I guess like what about what Drew was saying appealed to you? Or like what did you get from what he was saying? Like summarize like in one sentence or two sentences, summarize what you believe he was doing, and then why is that appealing to you in this particular case?
What he was doing was like getting leads without selling a client up front, right? So like it's kind of backwards. So like how we're selling a client and then we're getting them leads the other way around. He's getting the leads and then selling them to the client. I think that's probably more fitting or like more appropriate for this like HVAC service. It seems a lot easier as far as like I'm hustling. I'm telling you, like I'm calling every single lead, like following up and for the Pilates, and it's like it's getting overwhelming, especially thinking about like, okay, how long can I keep doing this? So this just seems a lot more passive, and obviously, I mean, he says he spools up like an hour a day or something like that, and just kind of gets the leads going, and then I mean, it just seems like more output for way less legwork.
So I guess like what's your mind going towards? Like what do you believe the move is and why?
Well, what do I think the move is? I just kind of broke that, just kind of like sharing with you like what's going on. But the move that I want to make is I do want to try to get him some leads, this HVAC guy, and then just kind of see how well I'm doing, and then if that's like way better than Pilates, then going that route. At the same time, I mean, if I have to refund Allie, then so be it. But I'll still definitely try to keep up with her leads on this end.
So you're pretty much saying kind of what I thought your mind was alluding to. And I just want to confirm before I said anything. I just want to make sure that we're on the same page. So we're pretty much thinking very similarly. Here's what I'll tell you. Like this has been on my mind. And so remember when I kept like saying stuff about Pilates and you're like, why are you giving me so much pushback? Remember that? And so now you're starting to see, right? And here's why I'll tell you. And now that you've told me what you've told me, I'm not going to feel bad about saying this. I just want to make sure you felt good. I 110% believe that HVAC is a way better niche for you. I was never a fan of Pilates for you ever. ever, ever, ever. And so when you said, hey, like all the reasons you wanted to do it, I'm like, dude, like if you're gonna do Pilates because of her, don't fucking do it. And she's a fucking psycho. Like there's no reason to keep yourself in this niche for a fucking psycho like that. There's just no reason to put yourself through that. Um, and so like and also like the other thing that was like brewing my mind, I'm just being very transparent, honest with you, man. Like I'm thinking, okay, let's say you get this girl results, but then, and this is just me being very transparent, honest. Like, okay, who, like, let's say we have a bunch of Pilates yoga studio owners. Who are they going to resonate with? Are they going to resonate with you, this ex-military veteran guy who's very fucking like who you are, right? Or are they going to resonate with some lady that does yoga and is very feminine on ads, right?
Right.
Exactly. So those are the things that are in my head. Like, can I really see Daniel making ads? Maybe I can see him making ads and dressing up and doing a certain way and color scheme, and maybe he'll make it work. But then do I see Daniel like creating YouTube videos talking about fucking Pilates and being passionate about? Do I see him creating Instagram content and being passionate? Do I see him being passionate? Like, will it show through when you talk to other studio? I don't think so. So all these things were already brewing in my head. I just didn't want to necessarily say anything. So with you and your personality type, I think HVAC makes a lot more sense, honestly. The other thing I'll say is when you said Drew stuff, again, I just want to make sure that like when you said Drew stuff, I just want to make sure you're on the right page. With Drew stuff, I do think that you could do two things. You can run ads to HVAC owners, but you could also, I think, do Drew strategy, which is literally generate the leads and then set up something within Google search maps and then just hit a bunch of HVAC like, hey guys, I got some leads, you want them? And because why? Pop quiz. Why do you think you could do that, Daniel?
But you're saying the latter part of doing
So like, why would you be able to, so why would this not work for medical spas? And then why would this work for HVAC instead? And what I'm specifically talking about is how Drew would like message 10 different business owners and be like, hey, I got leads, you want them or not? Because that's the secret sauce of why it works for him. Why would it not work for med spas? And why would it work instead for HVAC?
I guess I don't know.
Because med spas, it's usually a landline. So if you text that number, nobody's gonna fucking text you. Like, yo,
Um,
versus the numbers that you have for HVAC, all of them, like these guys handle their own phone. It's usually not a landline. So that means if you blast one off, you're like, yo, guys, I got leads. You want them? Every HVAC fucker is gonna be like, Daniel, yes, please talk to me about it.
okay,
And then
yeah.
you can do his thing. So you can run ads for acquisition, or you can do that thing. I think again, HVAC makes way more sense. And then also just to clarify, and I know that you know this, but as a reminder, the reason you have to do all the footwork that you have to do with her is not because it's Pilates, but because of the offer you made her and just the expectations that were set, right? It's just a specific thing with her. If you have other studios,
Yeah.
you might not have that expectation.
Yeah.
My main thing is this, Daniel, just pick one, right? Just if you're going to go HVAC route, help the dude out, go all in on that and switch your time and focus to doing research on that. But like, you can't do both. If I'm you, what I would do is if you want to go HVAC route, hit that guy up, get him results. It's gonna be way easier. I think we already have a funnel, proven funnel and everything within the Cinemark and Chico database. I don't know if it still works, but it worked a few years ago. You have something there. I'm sure lead form ads work. So I would talk to him. If he's already spent $3,500 on ads, dude, he's gonna have enough money to pay you like $1,500 a month bare minimum for sure. And especially if you're more efficient with ad spend. So if I were you, hit him up, get that done, stop doing research for Pilates, start doing research for HVAC, and then keep helping out her until something breaks. That's kind of what I would do if I were honestly in your position.
That's exactly what I was thinking. It's just kind of like, yeah, just like you know, having her ad spent has been set and just taking the leads as they come in and whatever, but like not stressing about it and focusing on this. And when the time comes, like, oh, I didn't get your results, here's your money back, and just jump ship and go HVAC route. And it feels right, honestly, because this guy, like, it was just like organic, and we kind of like shot the breeze for a little bit, and we're buddies now. He's not too far from me. But I guess my only concern was running ads for him. So he's like doing jobs where like fixing stuff, right? So not necessarily like a free offer. So
I don't know what offer would work for him. I have no clue, but I just know that again, we have something within the database. Have you looked at that?
yeah,
Okay.
I did.
I don't know exactly. Like I know when I spoke with if you saw the case study, he was telling me like he got insane leads for relatively cheap. Um, But I do know HVAC is a proven niche. I do know that there are proven ads and offers that work. So I don't know what they are, but the fact that they work, you just have to do the footwork to figure out what those are.
And he's both HVAC and plumbing.
There you go. Dude, fuck, dude. I mean, come on. Like both of those are services that like people need. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I guess like my not the hang up, but like what I need to learn is to get like to build the site and get it ranked. That's where I need to.
You don't need to do that. That's just like you hit the thing that was working the best for Drew, by the way, wasn't the website. The website, so what he was initially doing was the website. So if you remember his story, he was creating the websites, he was getting Google ads, he was getting it ranked. And then he had a conversation with the business owner, and the business owner's like, why the fuck would I pay you X amount of dollars where I'm getting leads for way cheaper? And then Drew had a light bulb moment. He's like, he's right. I should be getting leads for except a lot cheaper. And so then he was running Facebook ads to get the leads. And so that's his main thing that sells people is the Facebook ad leads. It's not the Google ad. The Google ad leads is kind of like a long-term play. If you can get a website, create the website, get it ranked, it's a long-term play. So that's something you don't need to do that for him. It's a skill that you should focus on developing as time progresses, but you don't need that now to get the ball rolling, is what I'm trying to say. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but for that it was like concrete being poured. Like people like have a project in mind. This is more, so I guess I don't know the differences of the approach, but this is more like my AC went out. Like I need help. So how does that work for Facebook ads?
Yeah, I don't know. I know that there are ads that are proven for AC.
Okay.
I just don't know what they are. And I don't even know if it's AC. It could be other things. Like, hey, is this issue is like, hey, like I don't know. I can't even point that on my dome. I don't want to point anything out because I don't want to give you anything wrong. I just know for sure there are proven offers, a fuck ton of them that work. And I don't know if it's AC. I don't know if like what it is. I just know that it exists. And because it exists, you're fine. There's nothing you need to worry about regarding that.
Yeah.
You have to do a little bit of research and figure out what those ads are, those offers are.
Okay.
I think Mason may have even air duct cleaning. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, air duct cleaning. I've seen. I'm pretty sure I've seen ads for that as well. Does that help or does that add more confusion?
No, it helps. It's just I guess in terms of like selling him, the HVAC guy, I don't know if like me running an ad for like a AC tune-up is what he's looking for, as opposed to like Google ads where people are like, hey, my AC's broken. I need fixing right now.
So here's what I would do if I were you. I would ask him. So you already asked him how much he spent. You asked him how many leads he's got. I would ask him, okay, how many jobs have you gotten? What are those specific jobs? So maybe you want to be writing these down or listen back to this part of this conversation. Am I recording this on Loom? I'm even recording this. Okay, so you know how much he spent, the cost per lead. I would be asking him how many customers he got from that. I would ask him the services that were provided. I would ask him what is the profit margin on those. I would also ask him what are the services that he loves performing. And you want to phrase it the right way. What do you absolutely love performing? And the reason you probably love performing it is because it gives you really high profit margin. It's very easy to service delivery upon. That's most likely what it is. I would also ask him what is the lifetime value of the average customer, and maybe you can even divide it like these are like air plumbing people for this issue, and then these are like air duct people for this issue, and that's what the LTV is. And then from there, once you have that, then you can probably let us know, and we can kind of give you some feedback. But then also what I would do at that point is like, okay, if he tells you, hey, I want to do air ducts or whatever, the next step in the process, now you do some funnel hacking and you basically use a step within week 4, the funnel hacking market research part section at the very top of week 4. And you just do some research and you just figure out winning ads. Another thing that you can do also simultaneously is same thing you did with like the Pilates stuff, right? Go in some Facebook groups, see who does that. Either business owners that are running ads or agency owners that are doing HVAC. Pick their brain as well. Once you have that data, once you have that information, as you know, like I'm sure you probably obviously know this, keep him warm throughout the whole process. Then when he speaks to you, now you present all the data to him. And then that should be an
Okay. That's great.
questions, comments, concerns, thoughts.
No, that's it. I just feel honestly, I feel more at peace like with the HVAC guy than like because you're right, like this Pilates shit. It's like, and that's another thing. It's like they're all women and they're all, um, like hearing a guy talk to them, hey, you want to join Pilates?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's HVAC's definitely the easier route, the more probably more lucrative and way less like I don't have to deal with an alley client. I don't think.
I don't think so either. I
Yeah,
think it's way better fit for you, man. Just your personality and everything. So,
cool.
cool, man. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Cool. Okay, I do owe you a video. I know we spoke about like, you know, your official start end date. I don't remember off the top of my head, but like whenever that is, this week or next week, I'm gonna send you a video, just to recap everything, talk about the HVAC stuff, talk about this, talk about like, okay, here's what I would do next, overall kind of big picture, which is what I owe you. So just be looking
Okay.
forward to that sometime this week, next, whenever I'm supposed to send it over, I will.
Okay, great.
Um,
I'm gonna stop sharing my screen if that's okay, unless you want it.
No, no, we're good. So you sure nothing else?
No, that's it.
Cool. Good stuff, man. I'm genuinely like Daniel, like I'm just so like happy for you. I'm so happy for you. I feel so
Thank you.
good. And I'm proud of you and just everything. And I fucking feel mushy and shit saying this, but like genuinely bottom of my heart, like you made it through and like I'm just happy for you. Like seeing you work these leads and find success, like you've pretty much run through the gauntlet, man. Like if
Yeah. God
forbid something were to happen to me, Mason's community, like I think you're gonna be okay.
Okay.
You earned that, and just I just want you to know I'm happy for you.
I appreciate that, Coach Jake, really do. And yeah, man, I'm just looking forward to the next 12 weeks. So
Cool.
we'll
Yeah,
see.
man. Yep.
Anyways, I just want to say I'm gonna hop off. I got a pregnant wife I gotta tend to. So Blake, it's nice meeting you. Welcome. But I'm gonna hop off. Thanks, guys.
Cool, guys. So, typical fashion, guys, we have a new member. We have Blake here joining us from Ireland. And so I'm gonna have Blake hop in and chop it up and introduce himself and all that good stuff. And as usual, guys, he's gonna, towards the tail end, ask a question. So everybody, please listen very intently, carefully, and then, we'll call upon one of you guys to answer his question to kind of give him perspective. So Blake, want to hand off to you, man, really quick, as you know. Who are you? What brought you here? What are your goals? And then also one to two questions that you wanted to ask everybody. Also, mind you, I saw your question. Just keep in mind, everybody that's inside the community, they're usually, at this moment, the guys that are in this room right now, they're from US and they're from Canada. We have a guy from Australia. He's not on the call today. So just kind of giving you a heads up regarding that for your question. But go ahead and take the stage away, man.
All right, no problem. Hello, welcome everybody. Good evening. I suppose my name is Blake Jones, as Koshik introduced me already. It's kind of late in Ireland, as you guys can see already. It's like 20 to 12 now. We're kind of 5 hours ahead of you guys. And as you can see, it's not because it's only late, actually. I'm lying in bed because I just had the surgery on my back 2 weeks ago. So I have to be in bed for the next 6 weeks, to kind of recover back as well. So that's when I stumbled upon this course as well, just before my surgery, basically, and then I was like, wow. So anyway, let me just go ahead and introduce myself. So I just wrote a little bit of notes just to read out so that I wouldn't spend, take too much time of everyone here trying to explain myself or introducing myself, because if I don't write a note, I could just go on all night waffling, and I don't think any of us want that. So let me just say, my name is Blake Jones, and I'm from Dublin, Ireland, and a single dad of two beautiful young boys. My passion for videography came from a real life experience relating to mental health that nearly took my life, and I have always been looking for a platform to share my experience to save others going through similar situation. That's when I learned about the cost of videography and video production and realized that it wasn't something I could afford back then. I really needed to work extra hard if I was to chase this dream. So I started to save a bit of money since I identified my goal. And luckily, after 2 years of doing this, I also got a redundancy payment from my then job, PayPal, because I was working in PayPal for 11 years. For me, it was a perfect timing to leave the job and start working on my dreams. That's when I started a platform called CSI, Common Society Issues. And I also know that in order for this to work and sustain my living cost, I have to start a photography and videography business simultaneously. So that's exactly what I did. I launched a video and photography business back in September 2020, just after the pandemic. And I've been fortunate enough to work with some good brands and businesses since then. Why I joined. I joined this program simply because I want to learn a lot about video marketing and how to retain my clients, because I have not been able to retain any clients from video production in the past ever. And I have worked with many agencies and they just hire me as a videographer to do multiple jobs for them. And I've always wondered, how do they retain the client? And kept them on their books for months and for years. And while I'm just a videographer making videos for them, so that's when I've been thinking I need to learn about video marketing and stuff. I just don't know how or what to do. And then I came across Koshik's video. I was like, yes, this is what I'm looking for. So that's why I end up joining this program today. So my top 3 goals before even coming on this program, because this program about video marketing is only just changing and changing my directive in life in the last 2-3 weeks now, since having contact with Koshik. But my top 3-5 goals before this were being a movie director for mental health related issues. So I wanted to be, I write a lot of scripts sometimes, and I wanted to be directing short movies relating to mental health only, because it's not something that is actually big in Ireland at all. When you have, to talk about having like colored producers or colored directors or anything, it's like non-existent at all, in Highland. So I thought, okay, maybe I could be one of the people that starts that, So second goal is to run a live show similar to TEDx or something that would have a stage or so like that for general public to come in and discuss issues relating to mental health. And also, most importantly, talk to us about how they overcame it. And issues like that, because a lot of people are going through this. They just want to hear people talk and give us stories about how they overcome issues like that, So thirdly is to run a successful video marketing agency's services. And this is just a new idea that's just come through now, saying, okay, if I'm going to transform my video production company, I might as well maybe add an agency to it now if I'm going to learn all these things. So those are my top 3 goals for now. So my questions now is what I put in the chat already. So I was just going to say, it's like, have anyone ever run any ad in the UK and Ireland specifically and dealt with clients in Ireland physically? If so, if any of you can share your experiences with me, please. So that's the first question. The second question is, if you're from the United States or Canada, would you run ads for training purposes in Europe, or would you prefer to run it locally in your area or your state to actually get the real experience from clients and maybe even in the process capture the clients as well, even in the process? So those are my questions for you guys, because I've never really had a meeting or anything or even spoke with any business ever outside of Europe. It's just my reality. I've never even been outside of Europe. I've never been to Australia, ever been to America. I only just watch American movies and TVs and stuff like that, So yeah, that's it for me. That's all for me. So please, thank you guys for having me here.
Thank you for that introduction, Blake. So, guys, anybody in here, first of all, and by the way, Blake, a lot of the guys that are in here are relatively new. We do have some older people that have been with us since 2020. But Aman is not here on this call. Tony and Adam have been, Tony has been here since 2020, but he started this program about 6 months ago. So just kind of give you a heads up. Everybody in here is relatively, 6, 9, 12 months in, different ranges. So anyways, guys, anybody in here, has anybody in here ran ads in Ireland, Europe, or what have you, first of all? Did you raise your hand, Mason?
No, I was going to say no, I haven't. But I know plenty of people that run ads from Europe to the States, and they do completely fine.
They run ads from Europe to the States, or from the States to Europe? Like they're
from Europe to the States.
Like they're in Europe, they run ads, and you're right, exactly. Okay.
Yeah, but also Ethan.
Oh yeah,
Ethan. But Ethan's crushing it. He's in the United States, Blake, and he's running ads to Europe.
So there's.
If I may ask, where are they digital ads or are they physical product?
They're ads on Facebook.
No, maybe what I mean is like how do I explain this? You know, like what I meant by physical product is like maybe like a gym, a medical sport, like a a physical business in America,
Yeah,
or
brick and
like a
mortar.
business that is an online business, just like an online business. Like for example, I could run ads to get maybe a big clothing shop in America or something that just only sells online and they don't have any physical store at all. But I'm talking about someone that dealt with a business that has a physical business, if that makes sense.
Ethan was running ads offering wedding services in Europe.
Oh,
And so that's what was working. So he was based in the United States, and his ad was literally, hey, I'm somebody, I'm based in the United States, I'm coming out to Europe. And so I'm looking for a couple that will help me fund this thing. You just have to cover the cost of that, and I'll shoot the rest of your wedding and take care of it. It's not going to be the typical charge that typically is. And he was able to get like 3 or 4 weddings just from that ad. So there's like 3 or 4 people based out in Europe that are basically paying and that he's able to convert. So there's one perspective there. Anybody else here? I don't think anybody else is running ads in Europe. Anybody? Tony, MJ, Cam, Adam, Jorge? No? Okay.
okay.
So your second question is like, and I want to make sure I understand it correctly. Your question is basically the 6 figures and 6-week sales funnel.
Mhm.
Are you saying, you're asking them, hey guys, you're basically saying, hey guys, should I run the ads in Ireland and target locally, or should I run ads in the United States for the sake of like the learning purpose? Is that kind of what your question is?
Kind of like in a way, yeah, in a way as well, yeah.
Okay, I figured. So guys, hopefully that question makes sense. So, Tony, Cam, you guys all have obviously like, experience here with the Series 6 sales funnel. So Tony, I guess like if you were him in Ireland, would you run ads targeting Ireland, or would you run ads in the United States? And his concern, and just so everybody knows here, the reason Blake's asking these questions, he's a little bit concerned, or not even, maybe concerned is not the right word, but he has like questions of like, okay, there's a certain script I have, there's a certain offer I have, there's a certain language I have. And his thing is like, okay, the culture is different in Ireland. It might not work out in Ireland. That's what his ultimate question is. Hey guys, I don't know if I should be running these ads in Ireland, or if I need to tweak things up, because I don't know if the ads are going to work out in Ireland. So do you suggest that I run the ads in Ireland, target my local location, or should I run them in the United States?
Well, I mean, I guess the beginning of the 6-week sales funnel recommends that we target our state. So that alone is a big indicator that you should probably run it in your own country. Welcome, by the way. Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Tony.
For sure. I think it's important that you have a little bit of like common ground with people that you're doing this FVC with. I mean, we ran just our state alone, and then we did another one nationwide just to see how it would play out. And there's a little bit of an advantage, like you're in Dublin, you said?
Yep, yep.
Right. So if you find someone in Dublin area, you can kind of relate to them right away. Whereas if you like target the United States for this, I mean, you certainly could, but it'll come down to like, hey, where are you located? And you're in Ireland, it's a little bit harder of a sell, in my opinion. So kind of the closer you are to people, I mean, it'll work in Ireland, man. It'll definitely work. It'll work anywhere you are, for
I was
sure.
gonna
So
say
that's
it's
what
just
I thought as well. Like that's what I was trying to say to Koshi as well, because of the culture. Well,
Yeah.
then what's make it, in my head a little bit kind of like gonna be difficult, because like I said, I only watch Americans on TV. So it's really hard for me to think of anything American at all. Like if I was to say run a gym ad, and I learned so much about the gym in America, and I'm trying to target American stuff like that. I am
Yeah.
pretty sure someone living in America would definitely have a 50% way more advantage than me trying to sell to the same client, trying to, run the same idea with the same client. So for me, in a way as well, I also believe like, Irish people, especially in Ireland, it's very, very difficult to convince customers in Ireland in terms of getting them to change, or get them to do stuff as well. So I kind of like I felt like training with Irish clients and learning with the culture of the place that I'm in would be more beneficial than trying to run the ads in America, because I know it's something that's already set in stone and something that is already tested and stuff like that is working and stuff. But I just felt it would be more. That's why I thought, let me bring that question up, if anyone has had this experience or stuff like that, and vice versa.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that the whole like down the road vibe, even if they're in like Limerick or Cork or something, you know those cities, right? So
Oh,
like,
100%. Yeah. Like I
yeah,
can even do UK. That's the thing. Like he was saying, like, you have this guy you mentioned earlier that travel from America to Europe and doing the weddings and stuff like that. With my job and regardless of what niche maybe I end up picking, like I could even do like maybe businesses in the UK because to travel from Ireland to UK is like I don't know how to compare American states because I don't know the distance, but getting a flight here can be something like $50 just
right.
to go for a day and come back and do a job. So it's like getting the bus. So Ireland and UK, even though it's different currencies, the culture is the same.
Hoyshik, do you think that he should choose like even to the point of like provinces in Ireland, or would you just do the entire country and do it like that?
Yeah, so here's my suggestion, and I Blake, I wanted you to hear from somebody else because me, you're gonna hear what you're gonna hear, and it is what it is. And
Yeah,
so
no,
the thing I said was like, hey, like it's just gonna work. And what did Tony say? He said, dude, it's gonna fucking work. It works anywhere. And so it's like hear it from me, but like hear it from somebody else as well. Here's somebody else's opinion as well. The other thing that Tony said that uh piqued my interest was he said something along the lines of, hey, look, when we run the free video commercial offer, the 6 for 6 week locally, we have something we can connect with. We have to say, hey, like, yeah, dude, I'm here by the freaking river and whatever. Like you have something to connect on. Versus if you say somebody in Los Angeles, California, you don't know anything about that place, you can't really connect on that. That's what Tony was saying. And I do think there's some merit to that when you're just starting out. So when you're just like the way Tony and Adam are right now, they run ads throughout the United States, and it doesn't matter because they know sales, they know how the game works. It doesn't matter. He'll find something to connect on, right? And that happens as time progresses. He can run ads to freaking UK and he'll still find something to connect on because he's figured it out. And so in terms of like when you first start running it locally, because you have that connection, it is easier because it's hard. It's hard. It's hard. But why don't you make it as easy as possible? So I think when Tony said that, it actually makes sense to me. So what I would do, here's what I would do to answer your question, Tony and Blake, both of you guys. Here's what I would recommend doing. For the free video, it's very important to understand there's a free video commercial and then there's a niche funnel. The niche funnel, let's not worry about that right now. For the free video commercial, if I were you, I would create one ad set and I would target Ireland, and I would create one ad set and I would target the United States. Do both. And then see, you might come to see it. It's literally the exact same. You might see that it's slightly different. Just do that. One of them is going to work just fine for you. Most likely, they're both going to work. And the only thing that you're trying to figure out is like building your skill set of sales. That's it. So if you speak to the United States, by the way, I will tell you right now, like most likely people will be like, oh my God, that's so exotic. Your accent is so exotic. Where are you from? Da, da, da. You're going to be able to leverage that. You're going to be able to leverage, say, hey, here's where I'm from, actually from Ireland and da, 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 da. Like, I think that will actually work in your benefit. Now, once you have gone from the free video to now like the actual niche funnel, respectfully, it's not about Ireland. It's not about UK. It's not about any of that stuff. It's about cost per acquisition. That's the metric you need to be looking at. What is the lowest cost I'm spending with ads to get somebody a sale? So if you were noticing Daniel before he left, he said, man, I'm crushing with the females and the photo here. The video is not working well. And then the dudes are absolutely terrible. So he has a video ad, he has a photo ad, and he's showing ads to both females and males. We as videographers are going to be like, oh, the video ad, obviously, like video is way better than photo, all the stats. No, the results were saying the video sucked and the photo worked better. So now your ego gets hurt a little bit as a videographer. But then furthermore, it's like, hey, look, the females are working, not the males. So as a business owner, you have to target females with the photo. Nothing else matters. Likewise, when you niche down, it doesn't matter what's Ireland or UK or US. What matters is the cheapest cost per acquisition. That's all that matters. So most likely what's going to happen is you're going to have the cheapest cost where? In the United States. These people are going to be much easier to sell to. It's a buyer's culture. People love buying shit here. And the skepticism and all that stuff is way less here. And so you would be, it would not be the best interest for your pocket, your wallet, to try to sell out in Ireland. There's literally no advantage there. So I would start with the US and then maybe go to Canada and then go to Ireland. Like that's how by the way, that's why you're here right now. You're here because I focus predominantly on the US and then on Canada. And then I move out to Australia and then UK. And now I'm moving on to Europe. I'm literally doing what I'm preaching to you. Like I'm doing literally what I'm saying to you.
Yeah, if I was to do like the free video commercial, definitely 100%. Yeah, because of every context and everything that is involved in that video and stuff like that. Definitely that will work in America. I agree with you. It would work in America. Like if I was to create two houses, like you said, one for Ireland and one for America, I can almost feel like that will work in America and stuff like that. But I'm talking about if I was to niche down as well, if I was to actually create an ad that is not like free video commercial, and if I was to say maybe create an ad for a medical sport or a gym and stuff like that, that's what I'm saying. Like, why would I want to create that in America when I know that, that no matter what niche it is, gym, medical stuff, it would be impossible for me to sell to businesses, physical businesses there. That's what I'm trying to say. If
Yeah,
that
well,
makes sense.
so what you're saying is after you niche down, and if you sell to medical spas, let's just say the industry medical spas, you're saying that it would be impossible for you to sell to medical spas in the United States. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, why would I set it up for United States and try to do that? Because I'm not trying to do businesses with medical sports in the United
Can you say
States.
something?
Sure.
Oh,
So, Blake, nice to meet you. My name is
care.
Camilo, and I started the program about 5, 6 weeks ago. And I totally understand where you're coming from. When I joined the program, I was like, I'm gonna sell to these people, and I'm gonna sell to these people, and I had like these, like huge plans and ideas and everything. But once you start going through the program, you realize all the things that you have to do. So I was just in the same shoes that you're wearing right now, thinking
Okay.
about the future. But if you just listen to what Kushik says and Mason says, and you start doing things step by step, you're gonna slowly start to realize exactly how the program works. And then all those questions, all those doubts that you have are gonna start to vanish as time goes by. So that's
Okay.
just what I wanted to share with you.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, man.
No problem.
Like you're gonna hear, like it's interesting because it's so funny because Camilo was in your shoes 5 weeks ago, and the other older guys were saying the same thing to Camilo, which is like
Yeah,
just go and do
yeah,
your thing.
totally, totally.
There's just so many levels and so complex that the more you walk, the more light you see.
Yeah,
Right now you're completely in the dark, it's hard to see anything. But as you
Mm.
walk, it makes more sense. So when you say a thing of like, why would I sell? Trust me, there's reasons why you would sell. You would want to sell predominantly in the US actually. Your view will change as time progresses, most likely.
Okay. All right. No worries. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let the next person take over then.
And I'll say one last thing, because I don't want to be short, and I always feel bad because sometimes I feel like I'm being short. Again, what I was trying to explain is that when you niche down to, let's say, medical spas, and you say, why would I sell? The reason you would sell is because you don't have to physically be in the United States. You don't physically have to do anything here. You don't have to, the time, location, none of that matters. You're just hopping on a call, closing the deal, click a few buttons. You never really have to talk to them again. Somebody else will talk to them. Why wouldn't you do that? It's easy money. Does that make sense? So like the location has nothing to do with your success.
Okay. But what about the creation of content for that medical spot, for example? If they wanted me to come and take videos for them or photo shoot for them to actually use for the front end and stuff like that, while I'm
Again,
not in
so most of the time, the photos and videos that we're using, like Adam, Tony, most of it, it's like stock footage. It's stuff we're creating with AI. You don't even have to physically be there. That's the way this game works. You don't have to actually show up and shoot anything. And on top of that, if you, let's say you wanted to, there's a community that we have called Full-Time Filmmakers. It's an associate, it's a partner program we have. There's like 50,000 videographers in there. Say, hey guys, I have a job, Los Angeles, California. These are shots I need. This is exactly what I need. Go get it done. And that's an easy way to handle that as well. And again, I don't even think you're going to need to do that. I think you can literally just use you can use content already exist, stock footage, all that stuff in order to create the ads. I think you're going to be able to do that just fine.
Okay. I
The
get it.
location doesn't really matter.
Like clarification, I get it now. I'm now thinking broadly. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Other question that you wanted to ask the group, Blake?
I think that's all for now, honestly. I think that's all. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Real quick on the
Well,
or the location side of things, I think something to consider is just the population of the area as well. Like, I know Ireland's a very, very small country. I think you may find more opportunity in
5
this.
million only. 5 million only. While you guys
Yeah,
are like
like
300 million.
North Carolina, the state that Tony and I are in, just in this small state, we have twice the population of the entire country of Ireland. So I think you may find that there's just a lot more opportunity over here, or maybe London. I think London's population is
way-
11 million, which is still twice as big as the entire
No,
country.
okay, London, yeah, but United Kingdom itself is like 68 million. So London is like 11 million. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
But welcome to the group. Like, it's nice to meet you.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you so much. And thank you, everybody. Thank you for your listening ears and your help as well. Support. Thanks.
We'll play Blake when the time is right. We're gonna play it by ear, and my gut is telling me that we're gonna run some ads once you niche down. When you get to that next phase, we're gonna probably run some ads in Ireland and just to test it out, as well as the UK and the US. That's mostly what we're gonna start with. We're gonna probably start with all three of those. Again,
Okay.
we'll leave things up to whatever you want to do from there, though.
Okay. No problem at all. Thank you so much.
Okay, guys. So. Okay, so we got MJ.
Hello.
Hello. What's going on?
I'm good. I'm okay. I didn't have much questions this week. I shot all 5 videos yesterday pretty much. So, I'm just gonna start editing them this week. Actually today. I'll try and start editing them today, literally. Yeah, so that's where I'm at right now. It was a lot, trying to get through all the scripts and everything, just recording them all at once. So that was pretty fun. Yeah.
Scripts are all, like I said, very good. You've harnessed AI very well.
I wanted to take the praise. Like you know what? I wrote it. I wrote the scripts. Yeah, I wrote them. Okay.
You should take the praise and just let me believe that was like your
I know. I was like, oh, I don't like, yeah, okay. But yeah, like I think I think what I did was I just took the pain points of the person that I've been speaking about for a while now already. At this point, I already had a lot of documentation that I had taken down notes from them when I was problem finding or problem like solving with them initially. And just thinking through what those are to come up with the ad angles, for what the script might be. So the two I was able to come up with was the fact that I knew she had multiple locations and she couldn't, fill up the spots for all of them. Well, at least one in particular was doing really bad. Right. And hopefully, increasing all the rest of them too as well. And then the second aspect was I knew that she also hired, top-notch estheticians from other spa owners as well. And she wanted to keep them busy, right? So they don't leave as well. So those are pretty much, what I used to, prompt Gemini and tweak and, make it from there. I did give it some pointers on how to start. I think the first part of it was like I told it to start with, I want the first line to be, are you a medical spa owner, ... I told it to kind of fill the rest. So that's what it did too as well. So yeah. Took a while, but at least it was way quicker than me doing it from my head because I was already brain fatigued thinking about like, how am I gonna write this?
How long did it take to create all that? The scripts?
Maybe about, did I say 20 minutes or less? Yeah.
If you can make a commitment, I mean, down the road, having these scripts and film like once every 2 weeks, once a month, film some stuff and have it edited by somebody. If that's how long it takes you. I mean, man, you're going to be in a really good place.
Yeah.
So, I think Blake, did you have a question, comment, concern?
Yeah, I was just going to say, if you guys don't mind, because it's like just past 12 now. This video is being recorded, right? If it's possible for me to go over this tomorrow morning and just watch the rest of the meeting with everyone, if that's okay.
Yes. Of course.
Yes, thank you guys. Nice to meet you all, and I really appreciate your time. Thank you for the warm welcome today. And I'm gonna watch over the video first thing tomorrow morning as well. And where will you be sharing the link, if you don't mind me asking, Kaushik, please, for this?
I share them in the general tab.
In the general tab for this Zoom. Okay, superb. So I can go through them when I wake up in the morning, then the rest of it. Thank you so much. And au revoir, everybody. Thank you.
MJ, did you have any questions at all? Anything that you wanted to bring up, or just kind of like, hey, look, I just got to get through my editing?
Yeah, pretty much just the editing was the only thing that I I had on my plate right now. So
Okay, cool.
yeah.
If there's anything that comes to mind, obviously shout it away.
Yeah, absolutely. I will. Thank you.
I think next we had Jorge. Jorge, is he here? Oh, there he is. Jorge, what's going on, man? Or should we come back if you're driving right now? Some audio stuff.
You had to leave the place because they just were closing. But you should
Jorge.
be Jorge, can you hear us now?
Sorry, what?
Did you want to hop in and ask your question, or do you want us to come back to you because you're driving?
No, I'm just in the car. I didn't even realize like I had no time to figure out where to go, so I'm just in the car for now. So I'm good to go.
Okay, cool. Yeah, man, what's going on?
Not much, man. I feel like I haven't fucking taken a breath, man. I've been so busy just back to back with everything. And it's good, but it's also like it just like I feel like things are slipping through the cracks again. Where I'm just trying to stay organized on top of stuff. Mainly with my clients' ads. I didn't get a chance to watch the entirety of the video you sent me of the loom, but I did go over like the thumbnail. I kind of got a gist of it from like the duplicating again. And then I just want to give you like an update on like my stuff, my ads. Because I remember in our Slack channel we left off on like so far it's looking healthy. My most recent ads for the not the lead form, but the funnel. So just kind of bring you up to date with everything else.
Okay. Yeah, let's tackle one thing at a time. If I'm looking at your ads for your client acquisition, looks like we're at $60 for a book call, live discovery call, live sales call. So I guess like questions, comments, concerns, thoughts on this?
No, I mean nothing on the funnel. I think everything's been pretty smooth, like steady, like consistently. I got couple more discovery calls this week, and then a couple more sales calls as well. And
So I'm seeing just like one discovery, one sales call. Are you saying there's more that you haven't added onto this that you have to put another call
yeah,
in there?
like just today, yeah.
Oh shit, nice. Okay.
Yeah. And then the other ones, one of them is from a referral from an affiliate from around here. So I think that one's pretty helpful because she like was recommended by like my other clients and like they all know each other within the same network. So I
That's
got
crazy.
that as well.
I remember Jay said that. Jay said that so many of his clients were referrals. Seems like that's a big thing for jujitsu.
Yeah, man, especially because if you're in one area, like everybody knows everybody, right? So I'm lucky to have training with my professor and like to have been brought up by the people that I train with because I'm pretty tight with like a lot of the bigger people in the community.
Okay. Gotcha. Are you doing anything to get these referrals, or just like they're just naturally just kind of spreading about you?
So apart from like my clients posting me on their IGs, also this referral was sent to me by my girl. So she basically I told her to reach out to them because she knows her from somewhere. I'm like, oh, just let her know about me, make the introduction. And then that's basically how it came through.
Gotcha. Okay. So how many discovery calls did you just have or are having coming up soon?
So I just had two, one with that referral and then one with this other new guy for from I think it came in like a couple days ago, but they're pretty recent.
This one, is it this one right here, or is it another one?
It might be. I don't have my laptop right in front of me, so I'm not able to see the ads.
Okay. And how did this call go with the guy?
That one pretty smooth. He's that guy, if I'm not mistaken, he's in Virginia, and he already has some experience with ads. Like he tried doing them himself, I think was that guy. But basically, he has a good amount of students, so he has a good amount of monthly recurring revenue to come in and to invest. He's just trying to take it to the next level.
How did the sales call end?
This was a discovery call, not a sales call.
Then this might be a different one than this. Oh no, yeah, 'Cause yeah, okay, cool. So that's good, man. You got two solid leads then, and got my fingers crossed for you. Sounds like they're pretty good ones. Anything else that you wanted to kind of like go over regarding your numbers? Your numbers look good, man. Everything looks good here.
No, I mean, nothing else I wanted to go over. Mainly just the podcast. Like after filming these podcasts, I'm just excited to kind of get those things going, those ads going, and like use those clips because I've been doing a lot of watching from that Sook guy, and after seeing his testimonial / podcast, I'm hopeful that from this one I can get even better results.
Good. I mean, yeah, we'll see. My fingers are crossed as well. But I look at that as like cherry on top, bro. Because like your shit's already like the foundation is solid, it's healthy. So that's only like gonna add to it. It's gonna make you even more secure in terms of like, hey, we got these other creatives as well to add more juice. So yeah, I mean, I see nothing in terms of client acquisition that's like jumping out at me. That's like a red flag right now. Like, no, the conversion numbers, nothing, cost, nothing is really a bad, like nothing is like on fire, red alert right now. So aside from that, I guess like the other thing you said you want to chop it up about was like, did you say it was your clients' results or?
Yeah. So for my clients, they have for top level and for Northbrook, their cost per lead is like $40, 30-40 bucks.
Average. What's
Huh?
normal? So what's normal? Like what's the number supposed to be?
With Jay, his KPI, his cost per lead was at $7 using everything like this. I'm using the same system as he is, and he's in Detroit, right? So it's obviously a bigger city, and downtowns is closer to that number as far as like being in the city. Downtown is at like, I believe, averaging like 10 or 12 bucks. So I think it has to do with just being in a bigger city.
Yeah.
And for the
Was
other
it-
two clients, that's at 30-40 bucks. That might be average, but at a certain point it was $15. So that's kind of where like my head was at.
That's what my question was like. Was it like $15 per like 3 months and then suddenly it jumped to like $40? Is that what happened?
Yeah, so I just started running them for basically like 1 month total for each of those, but they were at $15 consistently, and then I feel like they shot up. Like it slowed down too.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't getting as much texts of like new leads coming in.
Who have you gotten like the most consistent? Like who have you gotten leads for the longest amount that's like consistently like healthy prices? Like this person, I've been running ads for them for 3 months, and then the lead has always been around $15. Like, do you have somebody like that?
Yeah, downtown.
Okay, so how long have you been running their ads? How much are you spending each month? And then what is the average cost per lead? Approximately.
Approximately, I'd say $12 per lead, and I've been running them for 2 months.
Gotcha. And is that a relatively like busy location?
Yeah, because it's right in the heart of the loop of downtown.
Yeah. And what all have you done? So the leads are like 30-40 bucks. Like what all have you done? Have you like tried duplicating the ad set? What all have you done?
The only thing I've done is I've killed one of the ads that was not getting any results at all for like 3 weeks.
Okay.
That's the only thing I've done.
Okay. So yeah, give that video a watch for sure, bro. And then that'll give you a step-by-step thing to do, like do this first and then this and then this. So, usually what I'm doing is I'm gonna duplicate the ads, and then from there I'm gonna slightly tweak up like the radius, for example. I'm gonna slightly tweak up the hook. I'm gonna slightly tweak up the colors, right? Like those small little things. If that doesn't help, then I'm gonna create a brand new offer. Again, you're not there right now, but like just step by step, if you go through that, that'll help you efficiently do this. Now, here's the thing. If the numbers are already high, bro, it could just be that it's just a location thing. So were you here when I kind of explained the three different cases where okay, so like larger location, small location. I explained that. That's most likely what it is for them, bro. And there's not much anything that can be offset is pop quiz. What is the only thing that you can do? What is the only thing that can be done to save them? Not even that you can do. What is the only thing that can be done to save them?
Increase their sales conversions.
Increase sales conversion, charge higher. That's it. Focus on the back end.
Yeah.
There's nothing else.
that I remember you saying that, and that's keeping that in mind. They Northbrook is actually closing more people now, so that's good. And collecting card information over the phone has improved the show rate significantly. So that's pretty dope to see.
And are you the one that's on the phone or is somebody else doing those calls?
So me, but I hired my cousin as an appointment setter, and I've had her doing it for like 2 weeks now, and it's been working well.
What's the difference in terms of show up rate for no card collecting versus card collecting? Do you know, or it's not off the
I
top?
believe it was from like 11, let's say like 15%, and now it's like 30%.
Okay, so you doubled the show up rate.
Yeah, like roughly. But I can't tell exact number, but just from like being on the phone with them and just like overall experiencing it, for sure it's increased.
And so you're talking about the percentage of people that say yes and show up. So you're saying that before, if you had a conversation with 10 people, 1.3 would, like 10 would say, yeah, I'll show up, but then 1.3 would actually show up. Versus now, if you talk to 10 people and 10 people say, yeah, you're saying 3 show up. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay. That's good to know, man. That's good to know. Good stuff. So yeah, those are my thoughts. I think, I mean, it sounds like you already know to like the right thing to do already. So what else is brewing in your mind, bro?
For the I guess it's more of a tactical, like more like nitty-gritty detail question. For the ads, am I to just post that on YouTube and then just cut my own clips at like my own judgment for the podcast?
Good question. So let's talk about this like when you get closer, as you get closer. Most likely, did you create this like a podcast or did you create this like an interview?
It was more like a podcast, but I hit on all those questions that I showed you. And it was like a conversation, right? So there was like a lot, going back. It was only 20 minutes in total, like each episode.
Okay.
But I
So
got some good clips of them like talking good stuff.
so for YouTube, what I would do is I've been like studying a lot of YouTubers and yeah, like I'm like studying their like hooks and intros. That's something I would do if I were you. I can send this. So I'll send that over your way. But like I'm like for example, Diary of a CEO, what he does, he hooks people. He has like this really dramatic thing at the very beginning, and then the music ends. And he's like he asks people to like subscribe, and then there's like a shot of him facing the other person. It's kind of like this weird, fucking intense thing. I don't know. And then the podcast starts, and then he has like a pitch in the middle, and then towards the tail end he has a pitch. So like I'm paying attention to these kinds of things, and like I would be doing something like this if I were you. I also like this guy, Dr. K, that me and Mason watch a lot. I've been looking at his intros. So I would that's the main thing is like step one is make sure it's cut up to tell like a good story. It's not just like all over the place. And then 2, like we have to kind of figure out some kind of a structure that makes sense. And then having a link to book a call with you. That's what I would most likely do for YouTube. So that's why I'm saying like we don't want to rush it. We want to take our time to do it the right way. I think we can talk about it. So for now, what you can do is step one is like try to create a longer video to make it make sense. If you can use AI to do some of that, do that. Step 2 is try to focus on the ads first. So let's not focus on YouTube. Just make it long to create, like make it make sense. Step 2, create the ads. Once you have the ads, that's the most important thing. Step 3, then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take some time and figure out how to like post it optimally on YouTube.
Okay, gotcha. That makes sense.
Questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, other things you want to go over?
No, I just as I'm cutting it through, as I'm going through the motions, I'll just check in and I'll keep you updated as well.
Sounds good. And this is by no means is this like a top priority. Also, just to know, because like the most important thing is getting your consistent book calls, consistent sales call. Like that's the most important thing, and as long as we're on top of that. And then just if I'm you, like that's the highest priority. Second highest priority is figuring out how to do the back end sales to increase conversion rate. So literally what you did to increase conversion showing up, like that was a huge thing you did, bro. Like 50%, like 100% increase, like huge. I would be focused on that kind of shit. That's way more important, in my opinion. Especially if you can figure out the high ticket back end package sale, like that's huge. So that's where my focus would be. And then this would be like third on the list. So step one, make sure your funnel's good, consistent booking sales calls, all that stuff. Make sure that shit stays good. And so part of that is like cutting out the ads for the podcast. If you want to go and put them in there to make sure this is good, that would fall in that category. Second, step two is, focus on results for your clients, figure out the back end. And the third is going to be this YouTube thing, podcast YouTube thing.
Okay, cool. That's good.
Anything else, bro?
No, that's all that's been brewing on my mind so far, and then I'll get everything else situated as far as like I'm just doing a whole bunch of catch up with everything that I've been needing to do.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Sounds good, bro. Again, I will I'll shoot you a message sometime this week, most likely, about the other stuff. Anything else? Going once, going twice?
No, that's it. That's pretty much it.
Good stuff, man. Everything sounds healthy. Everything sounds good. Just gotta keep it up.
Awesome, man. Thanks.
Camilo, I've been blowing you up with voice notes for the past
That's good, man. I've learned so much from those voice notes. It's like every time I get one of those voices, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. So that helps a lot. No updates on my end. The guy that I talked to last, what was it? Wait. Tuesday. He called me back today. Oh no, that was Friday. He called me back today. He's like, "Hey Cam, I really like what you have going on. Let's figure out a way that we can work together. I just don't want to come out of pocket for this. Let's do a commission, something like that. You can give me some clients, and then I can give you a percentage." I was like, "Yeah, okay, but I still need something from you. Like I need a commitment. I don't know if I messed it up. I don't know what I was saying."
Which one was this guy? What does he sell?
Say that again.
Who is this guy? Remind me which lead this was?
This is the chef. He's a chef and he owns a catering business.
Okay.
So he was saying that he really liked what I had, going on. He loved everything that I talked about in the presentation. And he's like, "But I just don't want to pay out of pocket until I see results, yada, yada. Let's work on something so you can give me some results and then I'll pay you."
And so I don't remember if we spoke about the specific one though. Did we ever speak about the specific one? I think we spoke about
I think we did. This was the one that you said, like, "Did you ask for a deposit?" I was like, "No, I did not." But I should have because he was super interested. I think you mentioned he's not gonna call me back. And he did, like today, he called me back. He actually called me twice, and I was in a meeting. I couldn't, pick up the phone, and then I called him back, and he's like, "Yeah, Cam, let's do this, but let's work on a commission kind of thing." I was like, "Okay, let me think about it." Because I wanted to run it by you. I didn't want to tell him no, but I didn't want to say, "Okay, let's do it," and then he'd be like, "You're wasting your time, bro." So,
okay, good. So how much, I guess, like what is his average revenue? How's he making sales? He cooks stuff and he delivers it. Like what exactly is it?
yeah, it's catering. He has it for like people that are famous, people who make money, but he usually charges $5,000 per event from them, and then it can get higher. So I mean, he's doing well. He's making $10,000-15,000 a month. But what he was saying is like right now, graduation season just finished, so for him things tend to slow down. I was like, perfect. This is the time that we need to get everything going. It's like, yeah, but for you to come and shoot a video, then I have to do all these, get all this food and all this cooking and yada yada yada. So I'm coming out of pocket for that. I was like, no, let's just wait until we have an event. And then we'll come and we'll shoot that video for you.
So I actually saw something really cool online the other day. It reminds me of this, but it was like hibachi. Are you familiar with hibachi?
Yeah.
So it's so cool. Like they had a photo of like this dude had set up hibachi in somebody's backyard, and the comments were blowing up, man. Everybody's like, "We love this guy. You gotta hire this guy. Had this guy over for my kid's birthday." Da 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 da. And so I think that like kind of to me, it's like I don't want to write this off because I saw something that I think could be something, right? So here's what I will say. One, if you have a conversation with him and you close him on a deal, well then boom, we're good to go and we can move on to the next thing. And that's the most important thing. Like that proves that you've done obviously a good enough job on that previous call. Obviously, I haven't seen it. And you've basically proved that he's been able to hop on a call and he wants to work with you. Of course, that's technically an uncertainty doubt objection, right? Because he's saying, hey, look, I don't know if I can do this thing. It's
Totally.
but it's good enough. The fact that you're able to get like a percentage deal, and if you can get him to pay something, that's good enough. That's good enough that assuming, hey, if I play this on my head, Camilo was able to get this guy to put down $500 ad spend, assuming Camilo knows how to get him results, that guy is going to end up working with Camilo. This is technically a win. That's how I would play it on my head, and we'd be good to go.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Here's what I would say. So you can do that. Go for that. Do that. Get this over with. We're done. The other thing to just consider is if I'm you, I don't know how for sure it's not something you should niche into. For sure it's not something you should scale. I don't think it is most likely. Food is like very low profit margins.
Yeah.
So this is not something you're going to do long term. If I'm you, I would get the close, I would practice the onboarding, and then 3, if I'm you, you have one of 2 options. Either you can do what MJ did, which is literally, hey, look, it's not like me and MJ found an excuse that wasn't like that didn't make MJ look bad, where he was able to give a refund to the guy. Either you have that option where you give him a refund after you do the onboarding, or 2, depending on your time and energy, if you want to give it a shot, shoot the video and just practice your chops and see if you can get him results just for the experience. You can do that. You can pick the path you want to pick, whatever you want to do. Up to you. So step 1, close the deal, let us know. Step 2, do the onboarding. Step 3, pick your path, whatever you want to do. Step 4, now we're going to actually niche down.
Perfect. Yeah, no. Cool.
Questions, comments, concerns, thoughts?
No questions. Like I said, I just want to run it by you because he was asking me all these things. I was like, let me think about it. But he's like, I really want to do it. And so, yeah, I'll talk to him and then see what we can get from him.
I would say like bare minimum $500 ad spend, like bare minimum.
Gotcha.
Because I feel like that's painful enough for him. And then you should get some kind of traction. I think it could be $500 to $1,000 of ad spend for you to sell a catering service. Honestly, I think it could be 500. If you have $1,000 of ad spend, you should be able to sell one for sure.
And when I talked to him today, I was like, you know what, like, because I asked him for $2,000 a month and then $5,000 if he wanted to pay in full. And then today, when he asked me that, I was like, hey, I need to pay copywriters, I need to pay graphic designers to do a landing page to do everything. So I need at least $2,000 from you. And then we'll go from there.
What did he say to
that? Okay, let me think about it. Because I need to talk to my accountants but I mean, I think 500, he's just gonna do it. And I told him also half of this money is gonna go to Facebook. So I'm taking a loss doing this with you, but I really want to help you because I see the kind of chef you are and I see the service that you're doing. I think if this does go through, I'd love to give it a shot. Okay. Because I mean, the photos that I've seen from his profile, he's got tons of engagement and the food looks really good and it's like really good catering. So and I went through like top 10 catering companies in Atlanta and none of them are doing Facebook ads, like not a single one. Like I went through every single one of them, nobody's doing Google ads. So I was like, there's a huge opportunity here. Will it work? I don't know, but I'd love to give it a try.
Here's one, I guess, I don't want to speak prematurely here. Here's the thing, is if you're going to give it a shot and run the ads, like essentially the only reason I'm suggesting you do anything is because, again, you're going to take the money, you're going to do the onboarding, you're going to do everything. So it's like, it'll teach you the entire overall experience of working with somebody. And so you'll see the nightmares and the ups and downs. You'll just learn. But also be mindful that if you go and try to get him results, it's no different than you trying to get somebody else results like the dentist you have, or the other person you have, or the other like 3 or 4 people that you have that I know for sure you can get.
Gotcha.
It's like you're spending your efforts here where you could spend your efforts with these people, which is guaranteed. So the only reason to do it, in my opinion, instead of doing one of these other guys, because it's the same amount of effort, but you're going to actually most likely get paid more there. The only
Yeah.
reason is to go through the entire cycle of what it looks like to sell somebody from ads on board.
Exactly.
That's the only reason to do it. So that's the
Yeah.
only reason I would do it if I were you. But ultimately, in both these cases, whether you work with him or do something with anybody else, which again, I don't recommend doing this. The only reason I don't recommend doing any of the other things, but I could see benefit of doing it with him because again, you're going to learn that journey.
Yeah.
But whether you do something like that, it's going to take away from you doing the niche funnel.
Gotcha.
So you have to make, that's why you have to make that decision. Be like, okay, can I balance both?
Yeah.
And if it's worth it, then go for it. If it's not worth it, then just niche down and focus on that. You
Okay,
ultimately.
cool. Sounds good.
And then also the other way, just because you mentioned like, hey, look, I have to pay copywriters and this, and that. My advice, my suggestion is like, I personally like to just say, hey, look, don't worry. I personally like to play the card of just being completely selfless. And like, I'm not thinking about myself. I'm not thinking about my copyright. I'm not thinking about the camera. I'm not thinking about anything. I'm just like, okay, good. I'm happy to bet on you. I believe in you. Only thing I'm going to ask for is you pay Mark Zuckerberg. You have to pay me, just pay Mark Zuckerberg. Without Mark Zuckerberg, we can't make this work.
So will I still send him like an invoice for $500?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So he still has to send you. So I just position it that way. I say it that way because it makes people like you more. It gets the deal across easier. And then once they say, yeah, well, then I get them to give me the ad spend.
Okay.
That's just a little tip. I don't like to say, hey, I got the copyright, this, because then you make it about you as opposed to them.
Yeah.
So it's just a small little tip.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool.
Anything else that
No, that's it. No, I'll talk to him tomorrow and then I'll get back to you. I'll keep you posted on what he says and then we can go from there.
Okay. And then again, the moment the transaction closes, just update us and then right away you can shut your ads off. So you're not blowing through any more cash.
Sounds good.
Anything else, Camilo? Going once, going twice?
No, that's it. That's all I have.
How are you feeling? I know I've been like yapping away at you all week. How are you doing?
No. Like you said, those voice notes are like, okay, listen to them, like, yeah, that makes sense. So no, they help a lot.
Okay,
Me
good.
too.
I'm glad. Okay,
I
cool, man.
appreciate that. I'm interrupting your workouts. I always hear like the plates in the background, but appreciate you.
That's all good. MJ's smiling because I message him from the gym too sometimes. Okay, cool. Well, we'll circle
All
back
right.
to questions.
Thank you.
Adam, Tony, questions regarding so I gave you guys, I responded to you guys, but I'll kind of let you guys take the floor and kind of share what you guys want to share.
Adam, you want to run with it since you wrote it?
Sure.
In his defense, I dictated it to him on the phone and he probably wrote it down based on what I said. So
let me just read it real quick. Yeah, so we're gonna talk to Ryan probably sometime this week, the owner of Pet Evolution, our big boy client. I don't know. I think we're kind of just both a little stressed and a little bit maybe just overthinking the planning aspect of like how are we gonna integrate these memberships? Like how hard is it gonna be? And I think it's a matter of action at this point. Like I think what we're struggling with is pretty much what I typed out. Like, how can we make it seem like they're going to need to keep us around? And how can we make it worth it? I guess. I don't know.
Okay. So we're less than a month away from pitching memberships with our whale. Yeah, and begin to. So what is the concern is about pitching memberships to him, or is because I believe you have talked to him about memberships, or is it like, hey, we have this service, which is like we've been done for you. We're going to give you a course and everything is done with you and a consulting thing once a month now, once a week you can chop it up with us. And so is the concern about how to pivot to that and like bring that up? Is that what you're getting at? Except Tony, I can see you're nodding your head. Is that what it is?
I think so. What were you gonna say, Adam? Go ahead, sorry.
I think it's like what is the actionable plan that we're gonna present.
Yeah. Okay. So I figured that's what it was. So for me, the thing I need, and then me and Mason are like figuring this kind of stuff out. Okay, first what happens, and then what happens. Okay, this is what I think you can say. So it's like really about getting full context of everything that's happened so far, and then from there I can kind of tell you like, okay, here's maybe what I would do. So I would just like really need like a full history. Like, hey, look, after we signed them up, we did this like for 4 weeks, and then we told them we have a course, or we didn't even introduce we have a course. Like I don't even know if you've introduced them, like, hey, you have a done with you versus done for you, and you've introduced that. Like if I know fully up to speed, like what does he know, what has he experienced so far, and then I can tell you like, okay, I think that you can go in for this kill, or here's you out in a loom video or whatever. I would need more information first. So if you can kind of give me caught up to speed, I think we can take it from there.
Yeah. I think the last call that Tony had went pretty well with him, so I'll let him share how that went.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's open to the membership. Like, I kind of blew his mind with some stuff. He'd been kind of dragging his feet for a few weeks, not getting in touch with us, and he missed a call, which sucked. But he apologized like moments later. He's like, "I'm gonna ask. I'm sorry for doing that. Whatever." But we usually only get like a call every 2 weeks with him, so it's important that we do make our calls with him. He more or less like is on board for the membership thing, but we know from experience that it takes like 2 weeks to get like an ad approved. So there's no possible way in the next like month that we have prepaid, right? We had a 3-month paid in full, and the next month we have paid for, right? So I know that we're not going to be able to implement like a larger form membership like we want to. So we're going to pitch him like a larger form membership that includes grooming. Right now they have a membership that only includes like a DIY wash, right? So it's kind of like the difference between going to a salon and like combing and cutting your own hair versus going to a salon and having it cut, right? So the current membership is like the DIY version. We want to pitch something to them, and this like I think we kind of brought this up in the beginning of our work together with you all too, is like, how do we present enough to get them hooked while not giving them too much? Because like too much, in my opinion, would be like, hey, this is what our follow-up sequence is going to look like exactly. You know what I mean? Like once someone, our idea is that once someone has their initial purchase, right, and they go into this salon or the pet groomer spot, they get their grooming done, then they go into our follow-up sequence for VIP membership, right? So like another week later, like, hey, I hope you had a great experience, this and that. So we don't want to give them like all of that sauce, or we feel like, I guess another part of the question that I wanted Adam to turn it on, and I think he did, like, how do you give just enough to like keep them hooked and keep ourselves relevant without like giving them too much to where they think that they can do it themselves? And I know a big part of your course is like, you have to sort of, that's kind of one of the, like, I think like 7 objections or something like that, is like making sure they don't think they can do it themselves. So do you have any insight on how to balance those two things out? When you know, basically we're going to like pitch our next 3 months, right? Or maybe year together, right? This is what our next year looks like together. We want to hook them enough to like get them to pay, but not give them everything to where they think they can do it themselves.
Let me ask you a question, just to take a step back. So you're trying to make this position to this kind of step from like done for you to done with you. First of all, the question is why? Why specifically with him? You have done with you with these other people. Like, why specifically with him are you trying to make this move? What problem does this why are you doing this? And then specifically, what problem are we solving by doing this?
Well, we kind of pre-negotiated that the done for you method ends in like 1 month, right? So we've done already 2 months for him with the done for you method. This is the time when we've already preemptively like coordinated a handoff with him. Like, hey, we're going to give you all the IP we got from this. Here's all the data. Here's all the call logs and call recordings and things like that that we've taken. This is why we think this method works better than this. Here's a bunch of text messages that represent like a switch from locations, etc. So it's going to be like a rack of data, like a Bible of information. And we want to be able to keep him for at least another 3 months, if not longer. And we also are interested in what it would look like to just take over his 10 spots in Minneapolis. That's where that's coming from. Does that answer your question?
So I guess the question is like you're doing done for you. If you're trying to switch to done with you, the question is why? Like what problem are we solving? Because the things you brought up is like, okay, Kaushik, I don't want to give away too much power. I don't want to give away this. I don't want to give away. Okay, well, you don't give any of that away if you stay at done for you. So it's like, well, why are we going to done with you then? If we go to done with you, then we have all these problems we introduce and we have to solve those problems. If we stay at done for you, we don't have to even solve those problems. So my question first of all is like, what problem are we trying to solve by going to done with you? And I'm not challenging, I'm just curious.
I mean, I think it's, for me personally, like too overwhelming to just handle fucking 7 groomer calls a day, like, every single day to like try to sell a $30 to $50 ticket item. And it feels like my time could be better spent,
Yeah, for sure.
So,
okay, so there's that problem. What else? What is another problem that we're trying to solve?
I mean, ultimately, we want to like hand this puppy off to him for the most part. Aside, we want to run his ads and like give him the rest of the shit to do, essentially. And I think he has the infrastructure there for it. I mean, he's a giant, franchise. So we've gotten his wheels turning about a bunch of stuff that he seems like he might just drop. He might just like pen the check on some things, like some big stuff, like call center training and like basically just running ads for, let's just say from a like macro perspective for what we're trying to do, we could easily run all of his ads much better than his current people are. And he knows that for sure. We've proved him like wrong over and over going with this other company. So if we just like take over 10 and aren't doing any of the like calling, I mean, that's another thing too to bring up. Like, okay, sure. Like, let's say we keep the done for you method for the next 3 months. That's only in a world where we're managing the one location. If we were to take on like all 10 locations, I think it'd be kind of ridiculous to think that we'd be able to to do all that. I mean, we've had almost 300 leads in a month and a half, spending a shit ton of money with these people. But it's a lot of phone calls, a lot of texts, a lot of follow-ups. I know it gets bigger than that and like, we can handle whatever, but I just don't see us handling like 10 locations with 3,000 leads a month.
There's pros and cons to each case. And that's why I'm asking these questions. I'm not saying one is better than the other. I'm just saying, let's consider these things because there's risk and reward for all of them. And I'm going to lay those out for you. So I understand that problem. I figure that's what it was. Another question for you, and again, I'm not saying that you should do this or should not. I'm just let's just play a game here. What are your thoughts on, do you think it is possible for you to train up somebody to handle all this stuff? Do you think it's possible to do that? And handle, like, have one person or 2 people, bring them on, train them, and then have them handle all 10 locations. Is it possible to do that?
Definitely. I mean, we talked about like the call center sort of move in the beginning of this process, and we kind of decided it wasn't a great idea, but I know you're trying to play devil's advocate. So it is certainly possible.
So here's the thing. The reason I bring this all up is, in my experience, here's how I've like, so I had initially my program a month long. Then I moved it to 3 months long because I realized people weren't getting results enough. Then what I did is I made it now 6 months long. And so what I realized is that, can you guys see my screen? If I make it 3 months long, and then I try to like make somebody an offer here to continue for another 3 months, they usually just don't get it. They just don't get it. And then they're not going to sign for another 3 months and then they stop. And then when I try to get them here, some people will come on and do another 3 months after they haven't made progress. But most people, they just like, they're not doing it. They're doing some other shit. They're doing something else in their life. They've just given up. That's just what I've seen. And so it's like, I can't solve that problem. So now what I've done is I've done 3 months and I've kind of figured out I've figured out how to push it to 6 months. And at the 6 month mark, now people just have enough intelligence and they understand how difficult the game is where like, I don't have to try to position sell them another 3 months. I just don't have to because now they have enough wisdom, they have enough experience where now I just say, hey, look, do you want to do your partnership or do you want to re-up? And it's like they have no choice but to do one of these two because they've made it to the 6 month mark. If they only make it to the 3 month mark, no matter what I try, and I've tried multiple things, hey, $400 a month, hey, this, that, it doesn't like, it's just, I don't have something consistent. So I realized I have no, like when I ask that question, like if I were to ask a mentor or coach, like, hey, dude, people are staying with me for 3 months, I can't get those. They would give me a bunch of shit and I've tried it all. And I just realized that I shouldn't be asking that question. The question I should be asked is how do I go from 3 months to 6 months without trying to do an upsell, downsell? Just because 6 months is how long it takes for people to get wise, then I can position something long-term. So that was my solution. The reason I'm sharing this with you is guess what? I had a bunch of people and these all represents RIPs, rest in peace people. These are all people that I've tried to position different offers to and they just fucking don't work and they end up in the graveyard. And so just like that, when you try to position this done with you thing, when you try to do a pivot, and just like, again, Mason made this great thing the other day, like 2 weeks ago, where he said, hey, look, why not just make this pivot? Why not just like do your thing and then just sell them a course and just bounce? And I would say he's right, but like, it takes a lot of fucking reps to get it right. It's not that simple. It's not that simple. You just like pitch some shit and people take it. Like I pitch it multiple times and then finally it clicks. And so you don't want to lose out on this 10 client big ass whale because that's like equivalent of like 10 bodies here. Right. And so it's like, it's a huge risk to try to go from a done for you to done with you. It's just a huge risk. And so when you say, hey, Kushik, how do you do it? I told you how I did it. A lot of dead bodies. And I do things like, hey, look, watch at the end of the 3 6 month mark. Hey, watch Aman's video, watch this video on how to scale to 7 figures. Same thing you guys watched, and then something else. So like, it's just different things. And some people see it and some people don't. My best advice that I could give you is like, it's probably not going to work to a T. In my experience, it's just not going to work to a T. I wish I give you better advice, but I'm telling you, like my anecdotal experience, it doesn't work for anyone. I'm not me, not anyone else. We try a bunch of shit and then finally something clicks. And so the reality is that it's probably not going to work. And second, the other thing I would say is if it's not going to work, give it the best chance to work. And the best chance to work is not to withhold information, but to give information. If you withhold information and they fuck up or they're not happy, you just lost everything. But if you over deliver, then at least you keep them for 3 months. And then ideally, in those 3 months, they become so wise and so hip. That's like, fuck, thank you so much, Tony and Adam. We need another 3 months with you. So if I were you, I would, one, do it, expect that there were going to be issues. I would over deliver, not under deliver. And I would use certain languaging to make them feel like they need you. So for example, hey, look, we're going to give this all to you. It's going to be a little bit overwhelming, On top of that, the reason the price is the price, you don't have to even say the price. The other thing to consider is that what we're going to do, me and Adam, we're going to be like account managers. So we're going to be like managers, just like you value manager at each location. We're going to be the overall manager and we're going to get each shop on one by one. And we're going to handle all this for you. So we're not just going to give you the ads and give you the scripts and give you everything, but we're also going to get every single location up. It's kind of like we're franchise starters for you. So I position it that way. And that's like, holy shit, the value that these guys bring. And then we'll see what happens in the 3 months. Maybe in the 3 months that you guys work together, with this done with you, you get like 4 locations. And then guess what? They need you for another 4 locations for another 3 months. It is very well possible that plays out. And again, the only way you can do that is to give more rather than giving less. So if I were in your shoes, that's what I would do if you want to go the done with you route. If you want to do the done for you route, it's much less risk. It's a much less unknown variables. And all it is, hey, we're going to train 2 people and they're just going to do more of this shit until we're done. We don't need to do them. And then maybe down the road, if you get these 2 people good enough, I know we're talking about done for you, done with you. Maybe you just stay done for you with all these other clients. So those are the two different kind of ways that you can play it.
Do you have methods for, in generality speaking, like, do you have methods for giving enough? And I know you just said like give them the house. I get that. But let's say we give them the house. What's your kind of threshold for having them still think they need you? I guess that's and I may already know how to do that. It just the concept in my brain doesn't like compute. You know what I mean?
It's hard at the 3-month mark. And again, you saw Amon's video where Amon's literal words were like, at the end of the 3 months, I didn't continue because I felt like it was just going to be more coaching, accountability stuff. I didn't feel like I needed it. And so he didn't know what he needed. He didn't know what he didn't know. He didn't know he needed this thing until he's in here for another 3 months. And now we're partners and he's like, dude, I'm thick and thin. You can't get rid of me. Right. And so it's a completely different thing, but it's like, how do you get people to, I think in your guys' particular case, like I'm not going to tell my case because I don't feel like it could be as applicable because my case is different than yours. If I were you, I would just focus on what we could do. What I think I could do with you guys is you guys could tell me what we could do is this. For your Loom, you guys can kind of sort of write out like bullet point scripts. Like here's what we're going to go over, Kushi, and here's why. And or you could just record and send it over my way. And then I would be like, okay, here's what else I would say to add more fear of God into them.
Just give our pitch and then you can critique it. That sounds awesome. Yeah, that'd be really helpful. Cool.
Questions, comments, concerns, thoughts on that? I like the idea of like, hey, look, we're gonna give everything to you, and so we're gonna give everything to you so you can be self-sufficient and run this thing without us. God forbid we get hit by a truck. We want you guys to be good to go. So he's gonna be like, holy shit, hell yeah, I want that. Now, and then you have to introduce the fear of God. Like, hey, look, now to get it set up, you're gonna need us to do each of these things, open up like a manager shop. And then like that's it. And I feel like if you do a good enough job there and say, hey, look, and here's why we're doing this specifically, we're going to open up these shops and we want to make sure that we're doing it in a timely manner and efficient and don't want to open up all at once. Here's why, because here's this issue, here's this issue, here's this issue that we've seen. And so we just want to make sure that we're good to go as we open up every single one. That's going to put a bunch of fear into them. So I think just giving a bunch of value.
Just out of curiosity, like running from the same like ads manager, all these different places at once, even if we spit a bunch of money into it, might not give us the results we want in some places because it's using like our entire grid as an algorithm versus like a micro like point at a time kind of thing. Is that sort of the science there? Does that make sense?
Like you're saying, like, is that something that would like do the fear of the God thing?
Yeah, or is that the reasoning behind that? Like the reason we're not doing, I mean, obviously what's the reason behind not doing them all at once? I kind of maybe know. What are some examples of what you might say in that case?
I haven't thought about that, and I don't have a strong, to be completely frank and honest with you. I'm sure I could come up with something, but off the top of my dome, I cannot think of anything, but I'm sure I could come up with something if you give me some time to think about it.
Okay.
But if you guys want to write down like your questions and then say, hey, Kushi, what I need help with, and if that's one of those things, I can sleep on it and send it over your way, and then you can create maybe your script and your pitch.
Yeah, I think I'd like our idea of just creating like a pitch for him that we just send to you and kind of give you an idea of what we would send to him and maybe give you a more brief history of like exactly what he knows, what he doesn't, what we've done for him, etc. And I mean, another concern I have too is that, our ROI still isn't there, right? So like for him, we've looked into memberships. He's got one in place now that's like the DIY thing, right? And I don't think we'd be able to get a membership in place quickly enough over the next 3 weeks to like prove it. And even if we did, we'd have like 3 days left to be like, oh, look what we did. We sold one, right? It's not going to do us any good. However, if we start like this week with their current membership, which is slightly lower ticket, but still like valuable and has solid like LTV to it, of course, that's kind of our thought. And I think we're going to try to run with that. Maybe do like a last minute like puppy thing. Because right now we're at
Is he going to be
30.
upset if you don't figure out a membership thing within the next three weeks?
What'd you say?
Is he going to be upset if you don't figure that out within the next week? As in, like, is there some kind of expectation that was set? Like, hey, dude, like, before we're done working with you, like, not only are we going to save these ads, but we're also going to figure out a back end membership thing. Does he have the expectation that you're going to do that with them, or is it like this would just be the cherry on top?
Only in
Fair,
like
fair.
passing, I was like, hey, we can see obviously this ROI isn't there. So here's part of what our next steps are. You know, we're going to create a system that follows up with these people for memberships, and we're going to help sell your memberships in the back end. Fucking great. He was like, send us a loom and we'll talk about it.
So here's why I asked about this. Is this a something you can position in your Loom video for once you open up the franchises?
That's what Adam said. That Adam was kind of like, we just pitched that during the pitch and then kind of hold on to everything else and not even start.
Yeah. And then that could be a thing of like, hey, look, the what we do, as you know, is we've done 2.5 months with you, and it takes about a month and a half to kind of figure out the market, a location. Every market, the way people talk, walk, behave, the offers that they want is different. And so that's why we first focus on this. And then phase 2, we stabilize, which is month 2. And then month 3, 4 is where we start to go in and focus on the back end and really increase retention. Then around the 5-month mark, 6 month, we're introducing new ads. So this is what the life cycle looks for a typical store. And that's why we're suggesting that we're going to open up one by one, because really it's the first 1 to 2 months where you have to make sure everything is stabilized. Without a solid foundation, you cannot build a skyscraper, like literally those kinds of words. And then, so now you're kind of saying that, and then also you're kind of letting them know, hey, look, I'm only 3 months in. That's why I don't have this retention membership thing, but they're going to be doing that as well. I have that to look forward to as well. So that becomes a selling point. And also, the way I would do it is I would literally draw out diagrams and numbers so you can see the value. I think I sent you like a diagram of mine, low ticket, mid ticket, high ticket. I showed you like different numbers and stuff. I would do the same thing as well, showing the value of like, okay, here's the ROI that you're getting now. Here's where the actual ROI comes in. So you think you're happy with the 2x now, wait till we get you a 5x through membership. This is where the real, so it's like, he's like, as a business owner, these kinds of business owners, I mean, dude, they're at like fucking 30% profit margin. You're telling them, hey, you're at 30% profit, we're gonna take you to 60%. Holy shit. It's a massive difference. It's hundreds of thousands of dollars. So that's what I would do. I would not try to try to figure out the membership, but like, don't let him know. Like, don't make it apparent to him that you're trying to figure it out and trying to make him happy with 1 or 2. You should just be focused on it yourself, just to focus on it.
Yeah. It's good advice.
Thoughts? Questions, comments, concerns?
Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, it's like homework, and we'll put some stuff together and get it to you, and you can take a look at what we would pitch, and you can tear it up with a red pen.
Got you. Would love to. I love using my red pen and tearing shit up.
Yeah. I see your second comment there. Yeah, it literally said it was the first time. First of all, and I'd be interested to see if you guys have the same issue. I think we get certain notifications on Ads Manager mobile that we don't get on Ads Manager desktop. And I've seen things that are a little more like creative, intuitive, like AI driven maybe. And it literally said creative fatigue at the top in orange, right? Sometimes it's like learning limited, sometimes it's like great, running great, and like above average, right? Things like that. But this was the first time I'd ever seen creative fatigue, which I feel like I have in general, but that's a different story. But like, you know, we changed the video immediately, right? And I'm assuming that's going to fix it. So I chopped off like 6 seconds, chopped off 6 seconds of the VO, switched some order around, and then we just re-uploaded it, and I'm hopeful that fixed it. But it was about a month and a half after starting to run a video ad. So I was just wondering if you guys had experience with that, because that was a first for us.
Experience in terms of like that specific notification of ad fatigue?
Yeah, creative fatigue, in fact, specifically.
I think I have seen that like a long time ago. I think I did see that once. I personally just don't mind anything Facebook says. I don't trust Facebook. But like, were your numbers ad fatigued?
Yes, indeed. I mean, this has been like the Achilles heel, this whole process, is that their cost per lead is so much higher than anywhere else. So much higher. And I had a theory about, okay, there's different people running ads for pet groomers, and I looked and there wasn't a ton. And I did the same thing with our Pennsylvania client. I think it's just based on people and how many are in a city and how many are vetting for them. You know what I mean? It has less to do. I mean, of course, if there's like 10 people vying for cement mixer, whatever, Drew, right? You know, like his thing. Like if there's 10 people trying to get after that in Richmond, Virginia, then it's going to cost more. But I think in general, if you were to just go to New York and do this, it's going to cost more than doing it in Nowhereville, North Carolina, correct? No matter if there's people running against you or not.
Because there's less people targeting those people, I think. So if you're in New York, there's a lot more, while there's more people there, a lot more advertisers fighting for those people. So these people are valuable. Versus if it's in bumfuck nowhere, nobody's really leveraging those people. There's no advertisers betting on them.
Mhm.
So I guess, yeah.
So we changed our creative on the same ad, and you know, that it got up to like $16 to $20 a lead, which is just not going to work, obviously. Our better ones are performing somewhere between like $6 to $10 a lead, which isn't terrible. Um, and you know, sometimes we like get a winner that like crushes like $2 leads for a few days and then gets back up. Like it gets evened out. But yeah, that's been one of the biggest challenges. We're trying to throw a lot at it before we hang up our gloves. And like I said, the last thing I'll say about this particular client is that right now I think we're at 35 closes in 42 days. So we're still a bit behind on where we should be. It's not like we can't catch up, but we'll have to like play it pretty hard to catch up.
Well, all of everything that you've mentioned is regarding your whale con, even what we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you said like, hey, the cost is way higher, you're talking about specifically your whale client.
Mhm.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't think he's gonna be mad at you, man. I don't think he's gonna be mad at you. If you guys are at 35, I don't think he's gonna be mad at you. Um, do you think he's gonna be mad at you?
No, but I want to get really, I mean, like when I said 20, because the last time we met, we had 29 leads closed in 32 days, which was pretty awesome, I felt. And we're
Okay,
like a
so
little bit
second.
behind that ratio now, right?
Yeah.
So I want to get close-ish to like 60 and 60.
Hmm. So is this because of like what he has said to you, because of the promise you've made to him? I guess like where's the concern coming from? Is like, hey, dude, I just don't think it's a good look. I think he's gonna lose trust in me. I'm worried about the refund. I'm worried about him not signing out. Like what's the biggest concern?
I just think the closer we get to what we guaranteed in the first place, the more leverage we'll have on the back end.
What do you mean by that?
The more like leverage we'll have in that negotiation if we do move forward with him. Like, hey, we got to like 59 leads closed in 60 days or something like that. That would be pretty all time. We can give them the next one for free or whatever.
Or
So
another thing that you could potentially do, I agree for sure, it gives you freedom. But another thing you can do is you could position this as one of those things that puts the fear of God into him. You can leverage this in a positive light. So you can say, hey, look, here's what happens as time progresses. This is the other reason why, again, we launch one by one, because month one, month two, month three, we see we're basically looking for the up and down, right? The graph to see like what is normal. Is it stabilizing like this, or is it going up and down like this? Is it going like this? What is it? What's happening? And so again, you can leverage that if I'm you, instead of trying to like, I feel like that's a stronger sales play than to try to justify yourself and be like, yeah, we didn't get you, but we're gonna get close. You know, we didn't get it. It's like it just you're breaking trust, in my opinion, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense. It's like trying too hard. It's like, yeah, you said you were gonna hit 40 last month, you hit 38. This month you said it was gonna be better, you said 60, now you're at freaking 48. Dude, what's it gonna be next month? Come on. Like that's what happens if you try to justify it, versus you can leverage it as a weapon. Say, hey, here's the problem with ads. Here's what happened. This is why you need us to be in there and keep a close eye for you. I feel like that's a stronger approach.
Makes sense.
So that's like because I know where you're coming from. Like that's the value I can give you. The value I can give you is what can you do about it? And so, like, what can you actually do? Here's how you can leverage it. But what you're asking is how do I solve it? I can't tell you how to solve it because it's not solvable, right? There's nothing I can do. I can't tell you like, hey, create more ad sets, create more creatives, think about other, there's nothing else I can tell you. There's nothing else I can do other than what I've already done, which I know you're tired of hearing me tell you folks on the back end, but that's all I can tell you for that to actually solve the problem.
Mhm.
Okay.
Cool.
Thoughts, questions, comments, concerns, other stuff?
We set up some foam board in our studio finally, which I'm pretty pumped on. So we're gonna start ripping some podcast style ads at some point in the near future, as well as like hopefully renting it out to some people that just want to do podcasts in general and just generating some business. But I'd be interested to see Jorge's when he finally gets those edited and like published to see like what he did.
By the way, yeah, for sure. Have you seen Rivieras?
I don't know that I have.
His ads? I was just gonna say something. If you're looking for more business with the podcast, I literally have been seeing ads. So yeah, just take 10 productions. You see his ads. See some of the stuff that he's doing.
So Dr. Lisa, can you introduce yourself to the audience here and kind of tell them what you do?
I'm Dr. Lisa Ballesteros. I am the owner of a startup.
I mean, it's a typical stuff.
So you're there just to like sidebar this. Have you guys tried long form ads? I think you've talked about it a little bit, but like, what is your experience running a 20-second versus a 5-minute, if anything?
I personally have experience with that. I don't know.
Mason, have you? No.
No, my ads are usually like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
His
Okay.
ads-
What's
What'd you
that?
say?
I'm saying Mason's ads are shorter than mine.
Hell yeah.
Okay. So yeah, no big deal. Right on. Yeah, I mean, this is ours is kind of a little more
In terms
rugged,
of like,
probably.
looking out after.
I think he did say that this one, actually, let's see what he said, because he did make a comment on this. It might be helpful for you guys. So Facebook allocated less of the budget to it, while the other two short form ads were allocated more of the budget within the ad set. So he has one ad set and then he has 3 ads within it. And then the shorter one actually is getting more ad spend. So I think this is the one that he's getting more ad spend. And then these two.
What would you say to dentists who've tried different marketing agents?
Yeah. So the creative that's got this one, 2 minutes, is getting more ad spend than this one and this one. And
They're still
theoretically,
very long, like very long.
yeah, they're still pretty darn long. So we'll see what happens.
Okay.
Also, just off topic, what you guys mentioned in terms of the podcast, I actually see a lot of ads on my feed that are like, hey, if you're in Ohio, you would do podcasts, we got a podcast space. Something to consider if you're going to build it out anyways.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out like how to leverage it. We're thinking about like creating some sort of package where we just target small business owners instead, kind of like the FVC funnel, and then like have like a business in a box where they just show up and drop money and have a teleprompter and they just read from it.
Exactly. So, that'd be a good stream of income, pretty
Mhm.
almost passive once you guys
You know.
build it.
Cool. All right.
What else you guys got?
That's pretty much the main thing, for sure. It's the main thing weighing on us at the moment with Pet Evolution. But
You guys have a little bit more clarity in terms of like the direction you guys should go now at this point, hopefully.
Definitely. Yeah. And I'm looking forward to just like sending you that like pitch, basically pitching it to you.
Looking forward to checking it out.
Cool.
Mason, anything? I've been hogging all of today, man. You've been like quiet. You got any words of wisdom for everybody?
One word.
There we go. No, not one word. What were the results that you guys had when you ran that fast cast injection?
For for the gym or for
No,
the
for the pet groomer, for the whale client.
We didn't technically do one. The only thing we've done is like cycle back through our like dropped kind of follow up 3, if you will. And like we got like 2 out of like probably 70 to like turn and be like, yeah, actually this is a good idea. Isn't that right, Adam? Something about that? Like,
That doesn't matter, but I know what you're saying. I would do that, and then I would test, like, because he's gonna have so many different locations. I would just might as well like test this one you have, and then if you get good results with it, you could leverage that and then say, hey, I know we have 10 locations on deck. We can do this literally 10 more times right now if it works well.
mhm.
And if that's
suggestion.
something completely new that he hasn't done before, and if you're looking at what's going to keep me on, right? It's like, hey, you have 9 different more locations to do this, and they don't know how to do it. So if you get good results, their ROI goes up. You're not spending any money on ads. And if anything, I would take one location and then not sell some bullshit on the front end, but also try to sell the membership package on the front end through an SMS blast.
Yeah.
Or if it works better, that if you do figure out the back end now, sell something super easy on the front end that everyone's going to say yes to in an SMS. And if they do say yes, it's actually automatically going to be good for you anyway, because you're not spending money on ads. So for example, like with the current ads you're running, you're like breaking even, right? It's like you spend $30, you get a $30 thing. Well, now what you're doing is you're getting rid of the $30 cost per the lead or cost per acquisition. You're making money off that. And then I would try to finesse something through those people that come into the door to try to sell that back end package, and then basically say, hey, we have a membership package where we do the same thing we just did for you today, but we just do it year round. It's this much for the entire year, plus the session that you just got for your dog is completely free.
That's pretty much their pitch, except for they don't have that membership built out yet. They only have like a DIY membership. So we honestly have to like pitch them what the membership looks like. Even that was kind of his request.
Yeah. So that's the first thing I'd figure out. Obviously, the back end stuff. But I would definitely at least do an SMS campaign. I don't know. I would definitely do it. Because they probably have a huge list.
I haven't even thought about
when you
that.
do one, like, is that just a single blast for the most part? Like if you got someone's like 4,000 person phone list, is that just like one single blast and then follow-ups, or is there like a sequential thing in there that has
Yeah. So good question. I personally would not do that. And the reason I would not do that is because you're gonna get swamped with work. Another thing is, like, realistically, if they do have that list of 4,000, you can blast out 1,000 a month.
Okay, cool.
So now
Yeah.
for the next 4 months, if your ads fucking suck balls, then you have 4 months of free bookings because you're relying off the SMS. So it gives you more time to figure out ad fatigue, figure out why your cost per lead is $20, etc.
Yeah. This is our boy from the Discovery Call video, right?
Say again?
Our guy Rich, is he from the Discovery Call?
Rich, you're kind of like a little bit of a celebrity. I don't know if you know, we updated the
You're like fucking 6 times more tank than the other video, but that's cool. Nice to meet you. Well, I studied that Discovery Call you had like 12.5 times probably.
Which one? The
Jeez, if I remember, I don't know, like the one in the middle of his like there's like 3 different Discovery Calls. I think the one in the middle was our keeper that we ran with.
It's Rich, it's I don't know which one it's the one that I left like
The
comments
tattoo artist one, I think.
okay, I remember that one.
Nicely done.
What's up, gentlemen?
Oh, man, I'm so surprised to see you. This is a pleasant surprise. What's going on, man?
Nothing, man. I was just I got home earlier and then I got done with everything I needed to do. I was like, I wonder if they're still on. And I jump on and Mason's going full bore.
Yeah, it's actually that one. Yep.
You've gotten bigger.
Dude, I am a lot more jacked.
Look at Hermosity's status here. Beast mode.
What are
I
you
think it was like
eating
I
right
think it was
now?
like 180. I think it was like 180 there or 189.
Yeah. Just going from Jack to even more Jack, man.
But it might be the
Rich
angle.
to richer.
What is up, Mason?
How's it going, my man? How are you?
Don't let me interrupt you guys. You guys do your thing. I'm just fly on the wall. Fly on the wall, man.
Yeah, Mason, I haven't even thought about running or selling the memberships initially just based off of their existing list. I don't know why that has never come into my head, but that does make a lot of
It's
sense.
definitely came into my head and it's came into our conversation before, but they're hesitant to give up their list.
Copy that.
Just for one location, they're that stingy.
I think at this point they're down. I think when we first started our relationship, we hadn't established trust yet, and they were kind of like, meh. But we've like established ourselves as a bit of an authority for them for sure. And we've proved his other ads like so bunk. They're like screwing up so bad. They like gave us a gift. They were running an ad for the opening that was February 2nd, still in May. And I had like a screenshot of it. I was like, dude,
What
these
the
are the people. He was pissed, dude. He was like, "Oh my God, you're hooking me up so much." I was like, "Thank you. I know." So I mean, we've been moving in that right trajectory. I know it's a long shot, but I think that there is a play there that is going to create some longevity. That's why I just keep beating it because like, it could be really sweet to just have that as a baseline and then, we do have like ultimately like 10 locations we're managing. That would be sustainability.
Yeah. Another thing as well is like one of the questions you asked, like, hey, should I do 4,000 at once? It's like spread it out. You know what I mean? Like spread it out. So it's like at the end of like the second and third month, it's like, okay, we have the list of 4,000. We texted 2,000. Like let them know that. Be like, hey, we still have 2,000 more things to go through. It's gonna take some time to go through them. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's so much more on the other side of from what you've already gotten. It's like it's basically at that point, it's like, do you want to continue to get results? It's not like asking like, oh, like, do you want to continue? It's like, hey, do you want me to keep this going or do you want me to turn this off? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would time it. I would time it as well if you decided to do that.
How are you guys feeling now?
Better.
Pretty good.
Other things that are brewing your head, questions, comments, concerns about anything else, guys?
We're now feeling pretty good, man. We got some work to do. We got some new creatives up and kind of like testing a bunch of different ads this week for different clients. And we still have a few like that are performing great and a new one that seems to be performing well too. So just try to maintain those folks and make a master plan for this larger corporate entity.
And I assume you haven't once brought up your client acquisition funnel, so I assume everything is fine there.
Yeah, we've definitely slowed down on people showing up to calls. I tweaked our follow-up automation a little bit, so it's not so. That reminds me, I'm gonna text all the leads again right now, for our calls tomorrow. But yeah, we've just been having a pretty shitty show up rate.
I think the quality of lead dropped a lot. I think we just have stuck with the same creative for a long time, and I think that it needs some change. We haven't tweaked it out a whole lot.
Are you guys duplicating ad sets? Have you guys done that? You guys have. So whenever you guys are duplicating ad sets, whenever you duplicate ads, are you not finding that the quality is increasing? Usually in my experience, every time you duplicate the ad set, you have like a honeymoon phase until it gets to be poor quality again. Are you not experiencing that?
I think we might have like gotten a little bump, but it's probably time. I just feel like it's time to switch to a different creative. I could be wrong, but that just seems to be what Facebook's trying to tell us at least.
What's your cost per call booking, and then what's your cost per people like live discovery call? So what's your cost per discovery call, cost per live discovery call, if you have those numbers?
Our cost per lead has gone down substantially, like a lot. Like it was probably at like $20 a lead before. The past week it's been like $13 a lead. to discovery call, it'd be like $30 a lead in that case. Because we're probably getting like 1 out of 3 to actually show up to a discovery call.
Costs you about $30 to get somebody to show up to a discovery call.
Correct.
Dude, that was insane. I honestly, I wouldn't touch anything if I were you guys. I wouldn't touch anything. Like if you touch it, it could break. Like that is as good as it gets. Most of you are spending 100, 150 bucks to get a show up. I would ride that bad boy until, you know, I think I brought this up with you guys last time. 25% of LTV is your cost per acquisition and then 2 times cash collected. If you guys are hitting those numbers, don't change anything. So if you guys are spending $5,000 on ads and you guys are making 10K from new clients and old clients, you guys are healthy and you guys can scale and you shouldn't touch anything with ads. You guys can risk breaking something. I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, it's like going on a drip right now, and it didn't respond for like a week or maybe even 2 weeks. It was like, fuck that, we're not doing this. And then all of a sudden it was like printing like 3 ads in a day for like $12 a lead. I was like, what? And I mean, they're legit people. It's just, I mean, the quality I think is less interested, right? I think we're at the eels portion of a pool, and maybe it just needs to be. So in that case, would you maybe duplicate that, run with like something else a little bit different, and then keep the other one up that's working? Or
What
no?
do you mean? You lost me a little bit there.
Being that I think that we're pulling from a group of like lesser individuals at this point, because we've already cleared out the pool of the winners, we would duplicate the ad that we have that's winning ish, but maybe stale, make it a little less stale, but keep the stale ad intact so that, or is it more about the campaign and less about the ad?
I see what you're saying. I honestly wouldn't do anything.
Okay.
Not
Yeah.
worth it. Like,
Because it's so
dude,
cheap right now.
cheap. Like there's people would die to be in your shoes. Like literally, not literally, but like they would, you have a really good situation going. I just want, even if one of 3 people is good, so what? Like you're much better off setting up, if you're much better off spending your time and energy doing things like focusing on an email sequence, focusing on launching YouTube videos, focusing on other things to nurture the 2 out of 3 that don't show up. You're much better off doing that than to try to create a new ad and potentially break something.
Mhm.
Yeah. Again, the most important, the metric you look at is 2x cash collected and 25% of lifetime value. Those are the only 2 metrics that matter when it comes to your paid ads. If
What do you
those,
mean 25%? Does that mean like 25% of the clients are sticking around?
okay, I'm glad I brought this up. So 2 things. If your average client is worth, let's say 10 grand, right? Then you can afford to spend 2.5 grand on paid ads to acquire them. So you spend 2.5K, let's say they spend 2.5K with you, you break even, that's fine, as long as you know that they're worth 10 grand on average. So that's the one metric that you look at. The second metric you look at is, am I making 2x return on my cash? So if I spend 5 grand this month, am I making 10 grand cash collected, not revenue, but cash collected from new clients and old clients? Why are these metrics important? The reason these metrics are important, both cash collected and lifetime value set you up with enough margin so that you can scale up and then pay out your team. That's why. So those are numbers that you should be aiming for. If you have those numbers, then it doesn't matter. So if you're spending $10, $12 for a book call and then $30 for a show up, and then your conversion rate ensures that you're at 2x cash collected, you're healthy. And most people would take that to the bank all day, every day. It's what I would do is I would figure out how to squeeze more juice out of lemon. So figure out how to hit these people up, get a setter in there to hit all these people up, do email sequence, YouTube, do other things to squeeze more juice out of the lemon. That's what I would be doing instead of spending time more on ads. The ads are not broken. What else you guys got for us? Anything else?
That's it, man. We got some homework to do, but I feel good.
Sure. Adam, anything?
I don't think so, man. I think that's it. This was really good though. Thank you.
MJ, anything?
No, just here listening, absorbing as much as I can.
Good. Well, that's pretty much it then in a nutshell, guys. If that's everything, we'll see you ugly hooligans next week then. Rich, if you want to hang out, just chop it up for a little bit. We can chop it up and hang out for a little bit if you'd like.
Yeah, if you got like 7-10 minutes.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. All right, you ugly mugs, you hooligans, you gotta go. I'm gonna get my one-on-one time with Rich and figure out his protocol so I can get big and jacked like him.
Hell yeah. Thanks, Kushik.
Rich, what's going on, man?
The gruesome twosome. What's happening? That's still
Chilling,
hard
brother.
headed, huh? Chilling.
Oh.
Dude, I look back at that video. I was like, dude, I am jacked.
You are.
I got jacked, bro.
How much are you weighing now?
Oh, 198.
So you put on about 20 pounds. Sheesh.
Yeah, 189. Oh, yeah, 180. Yeah, close to 20 pounds. Like I was at like 226 before I jumped in with you guys. And then I just, you hit that initial, like that super big weight loss, and you're like, cool, I'm leaned out. But then after a while, you're like, dude, I want to get jacked. Yeah, I want to get jacked. So yeah, I ended up going to the hormone clinic, check and see what my test was. So my test was at I think it was like low 5.
Mm-hmm.
So test overall for being 43 was good. My therapist or my hormone therapist was like, he's like, you're good, but he's like, it's your sex hormone that's binding to all your testosterone. He's like, your free testosterone's only at 6. He's like, do you have a problem building muscle? I said, yeah, I don't have a problem keeping what I have, but I have a problem building it. And he's like, all right, well, let's get you on a regimen. And then, so yeah, man, test
Nice.
way to go.
That's-
Test Cypionate.
Are you on like 150, 200?
I was doing 80 a week, and then it wasn't working out too well. I went 2 ways. So I did the cream at first, which the cream is dope because it's just, you just swipe the nuts once in the morning, once in the evening. But the problem is that you got to be careful because your spouse, like it will like, you got to kind of like stay away. You know what I mean? So in the morning it was cool, but in like the evening, it's like, hey, are we gonna do this thing? Because you gotta let me know because I put my cream on, So it just became more of a hassle than anything. Then I went to it's serious, it's a real thing, makes sense, a real thing. And so then I went to injections, and I was like, man, I can't see myself doing injections for the rest of my life. And so I went back to the cream, and I was like, you know what, forget this. I'm just gonna stick with the injection. So started off at 80. They took me to 100, and then I put myself up to 120 because I'm an overachiever. And dude, I feel phenomenal.
Good.
Like not only that, but I'll get like B12 shots once a week. So I'm legit.
That's good. So that explains the weight gain then. I was like, this.
Oh yeah, that explained. Yeah, it wasn't like, dude, like I'm 43 years old, so and I'm not shy either. I'm not quick, but no, it's nothing. Not test, bro. Test over 40. Big. I'm gonna make a shirt that says test over 40.
Like test over 30 at this point. Then your
test over 30, yeah.
Your numbers drop significantly at that point.
Yeah, so it's been good. It's been helpful, especially with work and everything with the career change, things like that. So I've been there about going on 8 months, and then my wife's still running her business, still killing it. She still does really, really well at that. I ain't talked to Anton in a while, little koala. I just have to hit him up on WhatsApp, and he's running around in a Lambo or something trying to build a cult.
Yeah,
that's the last time I saw he was doing something.
How's the wife's business doing overall? Like, is it kind of sort of the same thing? Is she growing? Is she doing the same thing? Is she trying to create a course, a coaching program? Where's she kind of at with what she's doing?
Yeah, so right now, so my wife is really good at organically moving her audience to Instagram. So what she does, she has a lot of different brand deals. So she has a lot of different, she has a lot of different brand deals that she has with like, flower wall companies or things like that, or, whatever, balloon suppliers or whatever. And so they'll give her products to promote. But what she does is she'll make a video on TikTok and say, hey, if you want to enter this contest, follow me on my IG, tag one friend and put in and do like the rose emoji or whatever. Follow, tag a friend, put the rose emoji, and DM me. So Instagram so she went from like organically just on IG, she went from like 1,300, she's got like 6,500 on IG right now. So she's trying to shift them over and move them out as the looming TikTok ban kind of sticks, but it's growing significantly in the fact that all she does is corporate clients. Like that's all she does. So much so that she's about to 1099 this one girl. So the goal by the end of this year is to have one part-time assistant. The goal by the end of next year is to have one full-time employee with another part-time assistant. And after that, she'll go out into branching off into getting probably an actual, just like a storefront, because we're running out of room here from the stuff that she does. But I think for the month of June already, she made 7,500.
Nice.
Yeah,
She's
so she's killing it.
and most of her like clientele, is she using, so I understand she's trying to take TikTok consumers to Instagram to build up the Instagram, but in terms of her business, the corporate clients, is she getting that predominantly from her TikTok, or how's she getting that? Google search, or like
Google search, because I SEO'd it pretty good and there was no competition in the area, right? And so what little bit that I knew how to do with SEO and just search engine optimization just from back in the day, it worked out well. And I just keep optimizing it. I keep updating it, I keep meta tagging. I mean, it still works. It's not as, you know, there's something to be said for just good local SEO marketing. And then I'm ready to kind of like, the only reason that I haven't run ads for her is because she wouldn't be able to handle the workflow. The kids are home from school, you know, you got 10 and 6 years old. So I kind of wait till probably like September, which is when I go for my bachelor's anyway. So it'd be right around the time where it's like, it's a perfect time to get into like, you know, just feeling it out. Cause I have more time here in the afternoon, the evenings, where I'm mostly right in front of right here. And I can kind of see where it goes. But as far as like for coaching, so she'll put out like 30-minute coaching calls, like every once in a while when she has time, like, hey, I'm taking one 30-minute coaching call. If you'd like to be entered to win, she does the same thing. Go comment on my last post, tag a friend, and then DM me. Now, she always says, now it has to be from a real account. You have to be a real follower. So it can't be like a bot account or anything like that. It can't be like your burner account. And so what she'll do is she'll do that for free. And then she'll ask for like 2 referrals to somebody else. She'll ask for a video testimonial. And she does this kind of organically. I never really taught her how to do this. She just kind of figured it out. She asks for a video testimonial, and then she'll blast that on her TikTok when she gets ready to run the next one, that she'll charge like $150 for 1 hour. So it's as much as she can handle with everything that we have going on, but I'm proud of her, man. She learned how to do it kind of on her own.
That's awesome, man. That's so good to hear.
Yeah.
What
about you, man? You in your lean out phase? I saw you leaned out a little bit.
My fat ass went from 200 to I'm at 185 right now. I still got probably another 30 pounds to go. I'm getting a DEXA scan actually on Thursday. Mason, when you were in town last time, remember I told you how I got a DEXA scan in 2020, 22. So I'm getting another one like here in like a few days. And I bet you I probably only put on like a pound of muscle in like the last 2 years. That's probably all that I put it on. So I got about 20 pounds. Huh?
How old are you now?
How old do you think I am? Did I ever tell you how old I am?
I'd say 34.
Yeah, 30. Bang on. Good
Yeah,
stuff.
34. Yeah, so 34. Should think about looking at your test, man. See what it is, especially with as much as you rip and run.
Yeah. I've actually been on TRT for a long time.
Oh, have you?
Where you at? I forget what I was at years ago, but I've been since 2016.
Right on.
Actually,
yeah,
17.
I swear by it, bro. Especially for energy and just life. Period. Like not drained or anything like that, but. Dude, it was a wild ride with Mason for a little bit. I mean, not with Mason, with Anton for a minute. We ended up doing Anton.
Okay. Yeah, what happened?
So we ended up doing SMPs. So rather than get into, got a little bit of echo.
A little bit of it. My end or Mason's end.
There we go. Okay. Yeah, so we ended up doing SMPs for a little while out of Australia. So there was this one client, and you'll probably see them on IG. It's 7-figure SMP. You'll probably see their ads that are running up. Well, anyway, they do a really good job at having a white label, go high level, and things like that. So she wasn't really happy with the leads that she was getting. We were kind of looking at the things that they were basically just doing Google ads. And dude, like some of what they were doing, just like the math was not mathing. And so he ends up pulling her on to a discovery call just off of his ad that he was doing, right? He pulls her onto a discovery call, and then I end up jumping on with him, and we kind of ping pong back and forth. Well, long story short, she ends up deciding to go ahead and not ditch, but she added us to her SMP white label one, and like immediately the next day, that dude shut her down. Like she couldn't get into nothing, bro. So we reach out to him, boom, hey man, just want to jump on a call real quick. Dude, one of the most snottiest dudes I've ever met. But it didn't help really that Mason being, I mean, not Mason, Anton being as young as he is, bro. I wish it was recorded because we were just basically like say, hey, bro, like we're not trying to like steal whatever it is that you got going on over here. Like we really just want to be able to set up pipelines and do anything with this client because she's kind of hired us to kind of handle her incoming pipelines. He basically shut us down, cut her off the next day, and then Anton had to like foot the bill for like the next couple of months with her. So it was pretty crazy going up and down. I ended up taking this tattoo artist from the Netherlands for a little while. And this was right in the middle when I was in the middle of a job transition and things like that. And rather than taking like 30%, I just didn't have time to do anything with him. So I kind of just gave him everything for free. Like, here you go, bro. Like, this is how you do it. This is how you do it. He was a young kid. He was like 20 years old, but he had like 7 tattoo shops, and he was doing like 20 a month off of them. And they are running no ads out there. Like he was running no kind of automations or anything like that. So it was an awesome learning experience.
So wait, just I want to make sure I understand this correctly. That's not, I mean, by the way, it sounds like you've been busy and that's a lot of fun. So the first case, so you got this guy and then he's helping. So you got a girl who's helping a guy?
No, so the guy, so 7-figure SMP, if you guys look it up, you guys will find it. So if you just look up 7-figure SMP on IG, anyway, so what they do is they run basically a white label, for SMP artists, which is scalp micropigmentation, right? So it's right in line with the tattoo niche. Like it's right there. And it's actually needed. Like it's something that's actually needed. There's a big market in, and I think I mentioned it to you in a Slack one time where it was like, dude, SMP is like, might be the move for some of your guys who like want to get into tattoos, but they don't because the profit margins are bigger. So the average on an initial is $2,000 just to get one done, and then it's $500 every 90 days if you want to do the upkeep. So it's a good return. So anyway, she saw his ad working with tattoo artists. He basically put together a whole video VSL using a lot of what it is that me and him kind of put together, a lot of what I had done with that tattoo shop, and he was getting nothing but calls. Like he was getting calls to it. Basically, he was just doing discovery calls.
7-figure SMP, is that somebody else or is that Anton?
That's somebody else.
Okay, so somebody else SMP, like a coach consultant, and she basically books with him.
Yeah, so he wasn't a coach consultant. All 7-figure SMP was selling is white label SaaS for SMP artists, and they would run your Google ads. That's it.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I understood. Like, so she's buying from him is basically the thing.
So she's buying from him, not
and
happy with the service. We weren't even bashing on him. Like we did a sales call, like, hey, we're not bashing on, like he's got some really good stuff. Like everything you got right here is solid. Like everything is, but she wasn't happy.
Get her? How did Anton get it?
Through a cold VSL, YouTube.
So he was running his own app, and then she found him.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And so that was okay. Yeah, so that was a wild ride. And then Anton being Anton, you know how he was basically doing that car dealership, the kind of the whatever it is.
Why did Anton have to pay though? Like, I'm confused.
Well, he didn't have
to
so
pay
when I say pay, he basically was letting her run for free because he felt so bad that he got her stuff completely shut down.
Gotcha.
Because that sales call that we had, he got so hot with this dude, like he started going off on him. Dude hung up on him and cut her off after that. I was like, bro, what are you doing?
I'm not surprised when I hear that. I mean, yeah, makes sense. Sheesh. So how'd you get your Netherlands guy?
Oh, that was so the Netherlands guy was another cold VSL call from Anton, and he was like, dude, I don't have the time. He goes, I'll just kick him over to you if you could take care of him. You could just take whatever you got from him.
So if I'm understanding correctly, Anton's basically built a client acquisition funnel to basically book discovery and sales calls with SMP artists and tattoo artists. Am I understanding correctly?
Correct.
Nice.
So
Okay.
yeah.
And so what is he still running with that? Or he's still not doing that? Or what's he doing with that?
Let me see if it's still there.
Because that's what ultimately I was trying to get you to build. I was trying to like get you to say, hey, like we need to build this client acquisition machine. That's what it sounds like he built.
He did. He built the client. Let me see if it's still active. Yeah, so it looks like he took it down. So it's inks.io.
Inks.io.
Inks.io. Yeah, so he ended up taking down the VSL.
So he took the domain down even.
No, it's still there. I can see it.
inks.io.
INKZ.
Oh, INKZ.
Yeah,
How
and
long
so he
before- Okay, I can see it says like book a call.
yeah, but there was a video sales letter right there. And he did a really good job with it.
So how long ago was this?
Oh, dude. When did I take that job? October, September. Yeah, so that was September. So you're looking at about 8 months, 9 months. And
Wow.
I haven't talked to him since I think around Christmas time.
Why did he shut it down?
Not sure. I'm sure I could reach out to him and see what he's doing. But what I see from him on his IG, he's out Lamboing, bro.
I think I saw a video of him sitting in somebody else's Lambo. Did he get his own Lambo or what?
No, he didn't get his own Lambo. He's got his group of friends. Like those dudes like go live in like Bali just for fun every now and again, you know. So they're young, bro. They're young, and you know,
You're not allowed to buy property in Bali. You're only allowed to like stay and rent houses there for like 3 years. Yeah, it's weird.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you have to be like native to like Bali to own property. It's kind of weird.
That's crazy.
That makes
Yeah, he
sense.
said yeah, but it was a fun experience, man.
That's good. Yeah, I mean he's
It
got
was
his guys. I'm sure those guys pay him a good amount to take care of what he needs to take care of for those guys. So he doesn't
Well, it's
necessarily
that car dealership, bro. Like they bring in like they run about around 2 mil a year in ads.
Mhm.
So they do kind of like a lottery function with like used cars. And yeah, he's just like at first he kind of was letting it die down, and dude was like, well, I'm gonna get somebody else, and that's like his bread and butter, bro. He gets a free house, gets all his expenses paid, you know. He makes what 17K probably a month, you know. And so he kind of realized like, you know, might have to dip off in this a little bit. But cool cat, man. He's a cool cat.
he's a smart dude.
Yeah, he
Wow.
is.
That's good to hear, man. Well, thank you for the update on Anton and your adventures with him, man. That's
Yeah.
you guys have been busy doing some cool
Yeah,
stuff.
it was fun. It was fun. If I ever want to jump back into it, I'd be like, yo, and he'll just what up. So
That's
but yeah,
good,
man, I just wanted to stop in and say hi. See if you guys are still going strong at it.
Yeah, man.
That
still
other
going strong.
those two that you were just talking to right there was those are the highest earners right now, right?
We have different people, man. We had this one guy, Drew,
Uh-huh.
just hopped in. So he hopped in like 6 months ago, went through the program. He actually had a $1.5 million agency in the past. He built it up to like $1 million. Came crash and burn because it was like him, his wife, and then he had this one guy that was like their connection. And this guy just knew a bunch of people like Nike, Adidas, and stuff. So this guy basically did the networking, fed the jobs to him, and then he would do the jobs. But eventually they had a falling out, had to let that go because he didn't know how to generate his own leads. Went through our program, figure some stuff out, and it was really cool. I posted the training inside the general tab, but he basically took what we did and he figured out this thing. So here's what we would do. Step one is he would generate leads in a particular location that he felt like wasn't saturated for like I think concrete. Step two is he'll go into like Google Maps and sets up an automation where he'll message all of them, say, hey, I've got free leads, I've got some leads, you want some? And then they all hit him up, and then he says, yeah. And then he does like a free trial. He says, hey, look, here are the leads. I'll let you work them because you already generated the leads. they do like a 3-day trial, and then next thing you know, he gets them on board because they've done like a free 3-day trial. And he went from like 1,600 a month to like 6,000, and then 18,000. He's probably at like 25,000 a month right now, reoccurring. So I would say probably Drew's. I mean, I don't know for sure. I don't know everybody's numbers, but like I know he's absolutely crushing it. Anton, so that was yeah, those guys, Tony and Adam are doing pretty well as well. So we got, you know, we got some sharks, we got some killers.
That's good, man. Yeah, I was listening to your. I was in the gym the other day, and I just get tired of listening to podcasts, and so I just treated your call like podcast, and I was starting to listen to it, and I was kind of wondering. I was like, did they do the advice he said about the nurture sequence before the discovery call?
Which one was this? Which call?
Week back.
Last week?
Yeah, last week, because I think you guys were talking to them. I don't know if it was them or you're talking to somebody about actually, I think it was them that used an example as far as the nurture sequence before getting them on a.
Maybe it was Cam he's talking about, Koshik.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because I was just listening to audio.
Tony and Adam were giving advice to Cam about getting people on the calls.
That makes sense. Yeah, that could be what it was. Yeah, today was an interesting call. It's higher level stuff with these guys. Like they're in a place where it's like they know how to get their calendars booked, they know how to close, they know how to get results for their clients. Right now, they're just trying to figure out how to get more profit for their clients so they can retain their clients longer. And then also they got like a big ass whale. This guy's got like 10 locations, and they're just trying to figure out how do I get this guy with the 10 locations to hop on board, because that's kind of like Anton's like car dealership, right? Like once they secure this, then they're pretty good to go. So that's kind of where they're at.
That's dope, dude. Yeah, that's dope. Yeah, the math made like sense. Like you know your clients are worth 10 and you have to spend 25. That's a 75% profit margin when you recoup that 25, right? So you're not going to recoup that 25 until month 2, but we know on average they're going to stay around. So eventually I'm going to have a 75% profit margin. And we know that 33%, he's get what, 1 out of 3 show up.
Yeah.
1 out of 3 show up. So it's costing $90. It's actually costing basically $60 to get one. Like the math works.
Yeah, the math is mathing real quick.
The math is mathing right there.
You can't say much else about that.
Everybody wants to touch the ads, huh? I'm guilty of it.
You wanted to. I remember you were finicky with your ads too. I remember that. You wanted to touch your.
My cost per lead's $2. What do I do?
Cost per lead's $2. What am I doing? It's like $30, bro.
You fucking loser.
And then I was laughing on the last call where it was like that dude was just complaining about that chick, and then Mason was like, "Congratulations, you are officially a marketer."
He was here earlier today, and just like the look on his face, and I'm really happy for that guy. He stuck it through, and you know, he's kind of went through everything. You know, he went through client acquisition. He's got this lady that's kind of fucking crazy, but he's actually getting her results now. So he's actually like helping her close some deals, and you know, he's a little bit he's been able to like not be as crazy, like let her get him crazy. So yeah, man, it's tough. You know the game. It's tough. But you gotta
but hey, man, you're doing a good work, and like I said, I always see you plugging away. Like I said, you're always the first call whenever I say I'll jump back in.
Yeah, man. Well, whenever, I mean, like, what's, you know, I'll let you go. I mean, you know, it's been a while in terms of this call for just everybody, but I guess like what's like the horizon for you? I know we spoke a little bit in terms of the DMs, but like I guess what's the plan in terms of the 9 to 5 and the next 3 months to your vision for you, man?
So for me, what I realized is, and I always told you this, like I enjoyed what I did. I enjoyed what I did, but after a while, after 12 years in the same spot, like the goal is to, whenever you work in this kind of an industry, the goal is always to work for an operator being the one who, operators are the ones that own the actual wells. Like we own them. Like those are our wells, right? And so Occidental Petroleum is, I think, one of the top 5 oil producers in the world. And so working with them here, when I made that transition over, I was just where I was at. Like here I have room to innovate. Here I have room to implement strategy. Here's because for me, you know how me, I'm always like, you know, I need to be operating, I need to be moving, I need to be building stuff. And so now, rather than just being responsible for my own little unit, I have 19 contractors that are underneath me. And so it's like learning how to guide a ship, right? Instead of just being reactive, it gives me a chance to be proactive. Not only that, I learn a lot more. I get a chance to implement all of my sales skills when it comes to presentations. Like everything that I learned here is just a rollover into my professional career. And it just keeps making me better and better and better and better. Like I think even today, somebody said something in an email and I was like, hey, let me go ahead and diffuse this. I said, Avery, now just so I can stay clear on my end, can you do me a favor and just clarify for me exactly what you mean by this? And the reason why I ask is because, and it's just like, okay, I got the answer that I want, right? You steer the conversation. So for me, like I said, you know, I think in September I get to they pay for my bachelor's, right? So it's a bachelor, so bachelor's degree in occupational health and safety with a minor in business management. So I'm going to use it for as much as it's worth right now, right? If it's free education, well, not free, but for me, I've always looked at this right here as fun.
Yeah.
Like this is fun, like to watch my wife do it and to give my ideas, or to see somebody who's having a business here or there while still maintaining a professional. It took me 19 years to be good at my job before it finally became a career. And I had to realize at that point, like, okay, one, I love what I do. Two, I'm paid very well, which is very important. I'm turned on, meaning like I'm switched on, you know, it's professional growth. And then also too, having my hands into things like this outside with my wife and just maintaining communication with you guys gives me an edge not only just for my professional career, but to say, hey, if the bottom fell out tomorrow, I know exactly what I would do. You know what I mean? Not forgetting and saying I'm completely done and that was just a phase. It's like, no, keep my skills sharp, keep my skills focused on, let my wife build her business, help her build her business. And at the same time, I'm still having fun with it. And if the bottom ever falls out, then I know exactly what I was going to do. And then when she gets to that place and the kids are at a certain age and she's ready to go, it's okay. Are you ready to actually do this? Then I say, Koshik, here we go. This is what we got. This is where we're going to go with it. That's where
I'll probably be retired by then, hopefully, but
that's good. That's good. You can sell it, but you'll never be done.
Never be done. I think once you're in it,
done.
You're kind of lifelong as a student for sure. But that's good, man. Like I said in our voice notes, I can hear in your voice, and now I can see in your face. It sounds genuinely content in the good way of like, dude, I'm fulfilled and I'm firing and I'm not bored. I was listening to a podcast, man. Okay, so there's this guy that's been like my new fave. You should totally check. I don't know actually if I should even recommend him. I'm watching all this stuff. This guy right here, James Sexton.
That's a divorce lawyer guy, dude. That guy's fucking awesome.
Yeah, you see his stuff. I love his stuff. I just like.
No, is he a divorce lawyer?
He's a divorce lawyer, and you would think like he's like ruthless and like tactical, but he's like he speaks so much about love and passion that you'd be like, how? But it's like it's so interesting. It's like he sees so many people inside that he has had such deep conversations with, and he has to, like, as a divorce attorney, he has to figure out when did the infidelity, when did it all start, and so he has to go back to really understanding romance, what causes the fire and what causes the passion and what caused it to break. And so anyways, I just went super off tangent. You should totally check him out.
No, I'll check him out, man, because when I see somebody that's in their professional career, but they're not just like, you can't only just talk about what it is that you do. It's like what I do here is I get to lead people. And that's what leading people is my jam.
I think the thing with that guy in particular is like he really gets to see the actual true version of people, because not a lot of people like lie to divorce attorneys. You know what I mean? Like everything is always out there in the air, and he gets to like truly understand like the obviously the concept of love, but like who people actually are. Like not a lot of people would like lie to him about stuff along the lines of that. So I think he gets so much perspective on something.
Yeah, because I got that client confidentiality, huh? They'll tell him anything.
One of his sayings, like like he had so many golden sayings that like, dude, I fucking like I'm serious when I tell you, like he's like the guy I'm binging. Like all these notes are like watching him and just studying him.
Really?
His book. Like, yeah, everything is just like I'm just in a fucking phase of just like studying everything he says.
What's his book? Does he have a book?
He has a book. It's something it's like once you're in my office, it's too late.
Huh. That's pretty good.
Dude, highly recommend it. Like his stuff is so good. And so one of the first things, like going back to what Mason said, like one of the first things he said was like, hey, people lie to their psychiatrists and psychologists, but they don't lie to their lawyers. I was like, damn, that is so true. Because you can't, because he has to fight for you to like it's millions of dollars on the line. You're not gonna fucking lie. You're gonna tell him everything.
Right.
So
You're paying me. You better not lie.
So, anyways, I off tangent, but the reason I just brought him up is like he was talking about how like with a lot of men, you know, they're at a place they're just not happy financially and what they're doing with work, and you know, you got the marriage and the fires, you know, kind of doing a little bit, and you drive to the driveway, and before you walk in, you have to kind of sigh, and you look at your house and the kid like, okay, got to do this again. And I just bring that up because like I can see in your face, I can see in your voice that like you're genuinely happy, and I just that's how you win as you know, you're a very alpha male, and that's how we win is to be in that good headspace, because unless we're good, our women aren't good. The people that need to, you know, that we're leading are never going to be good. And so
Yeah.
just from the bottom of my heart, man, like I just feel very happy just seeing you and hearing that from you.
Appreciate it, man. Yeah, and to have just even have professional relationships like this. Like I know two amazing marketers, right? It's just a different perspective on people, like, and just to even like jump in and to hear you like counsel and get people through therapy when they're like, oh dude, how am I gonna do this? How am I gonna make this? And you got Mason over there, shut up and do it. It's like the yin and the yang, man. But yeah, man, I'm happy, I'm content, I'm switched on, firing on all cylinders, but I still use a bunch of Cole Gordon when it comes to my presentations.
I can tell, man. I can tell. That's good to hear, man. Well, you know, we're always here, man. You want to swing by and hang out whenever, doors always open. You can come hang out. And you're like I said, you're like a mini celebrity to the guys, because they all see your calls when they're starting for the 6 weeks. So a lot of the guys know you.
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate you guys, and yeah, man, I won't be a stranger. Talk soon.
See you guys.
All right, brothers. Talk to you later. Mason, see you later, bro.
See you, Rich. See you guys.